Okay, so here we are in session 2 of the Order of the Stone. Last time we, for different reasons, were called out to the SS Champagne, an ocean liner on its way to Boston from Ireland. Stella and William, you were asked by a professor to go and check on the status of one of their friends. Dr. Bethnell asked if you would go check on this archaeological dig led by a man named Dr. Nicholas Sebastian. They had been in Ireland for some time. Some tragedies had befallen. The team lead was actually injured in a car accident, but Dr. Sebastian took over, and they were returning. They had sent word, and in fact, had mailed a picture during the dig of these three stone urns, and you had seen this picture in his office. And he asked you to go to Boston and check on this ship because it sounds like it was overdue. It should have been there this morning and it has not arrived. And he gave you some money, in fact, to do this legwork for him. And as a private investigator and a bureau investigator, this was right in your wheelhouse for something to do. Now, Professor Walters, you and Rebecca Shadow, you had a different reason to go there. Professor Walters, your cousin, Frederick Green, was on board the SS Champagne, and you were going to go greet him at the dock. And you took your young protege, Rebecca Shadow, with you, and she was going to just accompany you on this trip to Boston. And you promised her, hey, we'll have a nice lunch, you get to meet my cousin, it'll be a great day out. And this great day turned into tragedy when you arrived and found out that his ship was overdue and had not returned. And they had sent out another ship, the Harbor Pride, to try and hail the Champagne because there was no radio contact. And the Harbor Pride has not answered any radio calls as well. And so the harbor master was very concerned and said, if you want to go out, you can hire a fishing vessel. And Rory Campbell was a member of this fishing vessel, the Foggy Sea. And his captain agreed to go out for a price. And you all loaded up in the ship and took the journey out. And it was several hours through rough seas, and many of you got sick. You arrived at the SS Champagne and saw that it had no power, no lights. It was adrift. It was at the mercy of the rough ocean. You saw that one of the life rafts looks like it had either broken loose or they had attempted to lower it, and it was now smashed against the side of the ship, just bouncing back and forth, pieces of timber falling away with every impact. You climbed aboard. It was very difficult, but you managed to get aboard, and it was a scene of pure carnage. There was blood everywhere. Eventually you found not just blood, but bits of body parts, feet and legs and heads, and blood smeared along the walls. You continued through. You actually split up to try and make good time because this ship is at the mercy of the sea, headed towards Boston Harbor, and it will likely crash upon some shallow rocks and could be a complete and total loss. So Rory went down and was able to lower the anchor, but it is still too deep, and the anchor has not caught hold of the seafloor yet. He also went down to try and get the boilers going to make steam. Meanwhile, Stella and William went to the bridge and found that the radio had been smashed, and that the captain, along with all of the crew, seemed to be dead, and there was bits of body parts here and there. And without the steam power, there's no propulsion, and you're just going wherever the sea takes you. Professor Walters and Rebecca were looking for Frederick Green, and they stumbled upon a suite, a room in the ship where there was not blood and there was not body parts, but there was bullet holes through the door. And in this suite, they found a journal entry that you should have. I think it's handout 1 or 2. Let me see which handout it is. It is handout 1, and it was a journal entry, and it sounds like the ravings of a madman. Something about markings on these urns, something about 30 days needed for the energy to grow sufficiently, and then the next entry, it is done, the first steps of the process, glory to the rising master. And it talks about that this form that is freed cannot be killed, otherwise the ancients would have used their swords and axes and flames rather than destroy the undestroyable. It mentioned a triumvirate, and I believe Rebecca thought that that meant there must be three urns or three entities. It mentioned three unholy vessels. And you have not found any sight or evidence of these vessels on board, but you have each encountered something curious, some strange black ooze, something that's seeping around the ship, bubbling up from drains, working its way into pipes near the boiler. I believe it was William even got some on his hand, and he was looking at this on his hand, and it began to actually injure him, as though it were drawing blood from his vessels. You all met up again. The professor did find his cousin, and his cousin had been slain, and he had a moment where he cradled his cousin, lamenting the horrible things that must have befallen. You found several suicide victims, people that had taken their own lives rather than face whatever horror was on this ship a short time ago. And then as you met back up together to discuss your findings, the sea grew still, and you were uncertain what was happening, but Rory, being expert on the ocean, knew what to expect, and looking out a window he saw a huge rogue wave bearing down upon the ship. And the ship was tossed to the side. There was terrible calamity. I believe some of you may have fallen and gotten hurt. No one was severely hurt, but it was definitely a challenge. And the ship began to list to the side. In fact, I'm going to post a picture, because this was at the very end. This rogue wave blasted into the ship. This wave taller than the ship itself hammered into it, and kind of spun the ship around, and that is where we ended. Any questions before we get started?
Yeah, quick meta question.
Yes.
Does our sanity do the reset, or is that every in-game
So
day?
that is every in-game day, so that will actually stay where it's at. So many of you, I think all of you, probably have some sanity loss, and you have limits. You have a daily limit. It's listed on your character sheet, so below your sanity score it will say your daily limit. If you exceed that daily limit, you will have what's called indefinite insanity. It means you have seen enough, and you'll have a bout of madness, and you will be insane for the duration of this scenario, but likely for days or weeks until you receive care. If you receive a loss of sanity of 5 or more in one single go, you'll have a temporary bout of insanity, which will last a few rounds, and then you'll have some underlying insanity for a few hours. For the purpose of this session, either of those, it's going to last the remainder of the session, and it can be like a domino effect. And so once that starts to happen, it starts to get a little hectic, because in the game, I would actually take control of your character, but I trust you all to make the right choice. And if I tell you your character is going to go crazy and start smashing things, I trust that you will do that, and we'll determine how many rounds that will take place. The only other thing I wanted to talk to you about was luck. Your luck also does not improve this session, but at the end of this session, if we finish Act 1, you'll actually have some sanity rewards, a chance to kind of raise your sanity a little, and I'll give you all a luck improvement roll. So you'll roll the percentile dice, and if you roll above your luck, you'll get a bonus to your luck. You can use your luck to help you pass skills. You can use your luck to help you go from a regular success to a hard success, or a hard success to an extreme success. You can also, I don't know if we mentioned it last time, but you can burn 30 luck all at once. And this is like a get out of jail free card. This is your, oh, you thought I was dead, but I'm not. I actually survived that, gunshot wound to the head. But it takes a huge expenditure of luck. And I like that rule because I like your characters. I want to keep them around as long as possible. So if you have 30 luck, and I'm just looking at Rebecca's shadow, she does not. So she has 28 luck. So if something happens to her, she is going to be in trouble. And just kind of checking everyone else. So Rory has barely enough, and Stella, you've got enough, and William, you do not have enough. So William and Rebecca, If you die, you die. Everyone else, you can blow 30 luck all at once to save yourself. Any other questions? All right, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to send one more picture here. This is the aftermath of the rogue wave. So water floods over the ship. The ship lists to the side. Significant damage has taken place. You notice, Rory would notice this first. So the ship has a list. It's leaning to port or to the left. That means there's water down below that is causing the buoyancy to be affected. So this ship is now in dire straits. This is not just a simple, oh, we can get it back, but this is a, oh my goodness, we may be sinking sort of thing. Some of the windows were blown out, and you can hear the sounds of a violent storm outside as the wind blows in. Yes.
Well, what about our little ship that brought us there?
Do you want to go check on that?
Yeah.
The Foggy Sea.
Is it all right?
Well,
It's all right.
you're going to make your way through a couple of corridors to get there.
All right.
You get out to the upper deck, and you go to the windward side, which was the opposite side from where you set in. You make your way over to the other side of the ship. It's a little slick here. Is everyone going, or just Stella?
Are we all gathered together?
You are all together for the moment.
I mean, I would hope that Billy would come with me, right, dear?
I'll go where beckoned. Sure.
Anyone else go with those two?
I think Rory is invested in his crew, so he would definitely
I
go.
think of anyone, I think Rory would have the most interest in what may have happened. What about the professor and Rebecca?
I'm too distracted right now to think about that.
Yeah, the thought of going outside and maybe seeing those waves makes you a little bit nauseous, because the ship just got jostled like a child's plaything, and you feel comfortable and dry where you are. What about Rebecca?
I think I would follow the rest of the group.
Okay. As you go outside, Rory, give me a spot hidden roll with a bonus die. The first thing is you don't see the Foggy Sea where it was tied to the ship. As you glance out, the wind blowing rain directly into your face, you are hopeful that you do not see another rogue wave, but what you see is worse. A short distance from the ship is the Foggy Sea. It's broken free of its moorings. As the storm rages, you notice that this vessel has a huge crack down the aft. The transom has been pulled free. There is no back on this ship, and water freely floods inwards. And then you see the bodies. You see bodies of your crewmates, and then the dark slick of blood on the surface. A large wave comes up, and as it does, it draws the Foggy Sea further away until it disappears behind the next wave, and you do not see it again. Please give me a sanity roll, Rory Campbell.
Neptune's beard. What a terrible thing to happen.
Oh! Okay, you're gonna lose this much sanity. Oh, just one. Very fortunate. So you will lose one sanity point.
The sailors aboard the Foggy crew have been returned to the sea.
Yes, your captain, you were the first mate, but some of the deckhands, even one of the young men that was there to bait hooks, you can't help but hope that they perished quickly, because the thought of drowning is your greatest fear. you clutch the railing of the SS Champagne. You more than anyone realizing now that there is no escape on the foggy sea. You'll have to find your own way off of this ship or get this vessel back to port before another rogue wave strikes. What does Stella, Rebecca, and William do upon seeing your lifeline floating away and damaged beyond repair?
I'm turning towards Rory. Is there anything we can do?
Well, I think our best hope would be trying to navigate this vessel in. Otherwise, there's no hope of salvaging the foggy sea.
Yeah, the foggy sea at this point is a total loss. Likely by the time you get there, it will have capsized and likely gone under or been torn into pieces. You see no one alive on a life ring, or anyone floating is floating face down in the surf.
So what can we do to get this sailing again?
So Rory, you got the boilers going. You know, it will just take time to build up steam. You'll have to make sure that propulsion is available. You can go to the navigation deck and ensure that. You hope that at some point the anchor will catch, and this will be safe from drifting wherever the storm takes it, and then hopefully you can wait out a rescue operation. But this list has you concerned, and you know that if there's water down below in the hold, it's only a matter of time before it reaches the boilers, which will put out the fire, and then you have no hope of propulsion. So your only hope is that this does not get any worse, although you are curious about how much damage has already happened down below.
Seeing as I can't do much down below, I guess I can head to the bridge and do my best to navigate the ship into shallow seas so that the anchor will catch.
What about Rebecca? What do you do during all of this?
I think I would go back and check on the professor.
Check on the
probably.
professor, because you know he's pretty shaken up. He's lost a family member. This is likely very traumatic and very difficult. Do you go back by yourself, or do you ask someone to accompany you?
I feel pretty safe going by myself. I'm not
Yeah.
bothered by going by myself.
Yeah, clearly you've seen all the blood and gore that's on this ship, and it hasn't seemed to have phased you. Is
You're
anyone...
not bothered by anything.
Yeah, apparently she's like, I'm cool. I worked in a slaughterhouse when I was young. So Rory, you're going to go to the bridge. What are William and Stella going to do?
Well, I might need their help. This is a large vessel. I'm not sure if it can be
It's
piloted.
probably not a one-man job. You know this would take a crew of several people.
All right. Let's go with him.
Okay. Let's follow Rebecca as she goes back to see the professor. And as you get inside, the sound of the wind dies down somewhat. And you still hear the storm raging outside, but that terrible wind is no longer blowing sharply against you. As you wander back inside, you pass a room. This is the first class saloon lounge. This large room seems to have been a lounge, judging by the furniture that's been pushed to the sides and corners of the room. In its center, the lacquered hardwood floor is marred by a massive circular symbol. You've seen enough smears and spatters on the walls and decking to realize that the symbol is drawn in blood. Around the symbol is a ring of candles, no longer lit and burned down to little more than stubs of wax. Further, strange arcane sigils, a scattered pile of small bone fragments, and an overturned bowl are dispersed around the candles. In the middle of the central symbol is a pile of viscera, gore, and bones. Intermixed with this are large shards of a broken stone pot.
Oh no.
Upon seeing this, I'm going to ask you for a sanity roll, please. You lose 0. Again, this is nothing out of the ordinary for you.
Nice.
What do you think of this?
Well, obviously, I think this is some sort of ritual or summoning place.
Yeah, give me an occult roll.
Nice.
Excellent. So that is an extreme success. So you know that the symbol and paraphernalia are part of some sort of summoning ritual. And you know that the stone shards you see intermixed with the blood and viscera were once some sort of large stone urn. There are strange symbols drawn all over the stone shards. You piece some of these together, and because of your extreme success, you recognize one of them as one that you have seen before. And let me post a picture of that. This one right here. You see this as you, on some of the pieces of that stone urn, you see that symbol. Do you have any idea how that might be solved? You could give me, well, you already got an extreme success. Give me another occult roll with a bonus die. Excellent. You know that this is no mere tracing, but this represents something. This is what's called a sigil, and that there are means to decipher this, and you are familiar with the decipherment of this. You know that there are grids that are used in the occult profession by witches and whatnot. And in fact, I'm going to post a picture of what this grid looks like. You see a grid like that.
I'm only seeing the sigil again.
You're not seeing the grid?
No.
Okay, let me post that again. Let's try that again.
Oh, you have to click on 3.
There, now do you see the grid? It's a circle, like a bunch of concentric rings with letters.
Yeah.
So you know that this, you've seen an image of this. In fact, you've likely created sigils of your own, or at least read of words of power transformed from words into symbols. Would you have any idea how to maybe decipher this? And it's only because of your extreme success that I'm even giving you this hint. But you got an extreme and a hard success on these. Any idea?
Yeah, I would think like maybe lining up the sigil on the wheel to like for the letters to see what it spells out maybe.
Do you have like some paper or something on your person? You could give me a luck roll to see if you've got like a pencil and paper or a pen and paper, or can find something in here, and you could probably do this for yourself. Your luck is pretty low.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't have a pencil or paper, but you know that if you could make one of these grids, you would be able to draw this symbol on it and perhaps decipher this. Is there any way you can think of doing that?
I could possibly use like my own blood or something, or if there's
Ooh.
like blood in the room.
Yeah, wow. There's plenty of blood in the room. It doesn't have to be your own. Do you spend the time to trace out that pattern and then redraw this symbol on that?
Yeah, I definitely think I would.
Okay. It takes you some time, but you end up with this. Do you see that?
Yes.
Can you decode that? I'm going to give you a minute or two to look at that and try and decode it. And it may not be a word that you know or something.
Well, I'm thinking it goes A-G-R-A-N, possibly.
And how would you say that word?
Agran?
Agran?
Yeah.
You speak the words to yourself. Agran, 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 agran. And as you say these words, a chill runs up and down your back. And you know that you would like the professor to see this.
Yeah.
Do you go and get the professor?
Yes, I will.
Excellent. You run and get the professor as this is happening. I'm going to go back to Rory, Stella, and William. So you are heading back to the navigation deck where the bridge is. And if you recall, the bridge was a scene of absolute carnage.
Yeah.
Blood everywhere.
Yeah.
Bodies
William
everywhere.
and I were there last time, but not. I don't think
We just
Rory has seen
No,
it.
Rory has not seen this.
Can we like tell him about it? Like soften the blow?
Probably
I think William would,
warn
like-
him
Yeah.
a little bit. If you prepare him
Yeah.
and warn him, I'm going to say he doesn't need to make the sanity roll. So I think that would be a good idea. As you walk into this bridge, Rory, even though you've been told, it's still difficult to see. These are sailing men and sailing women, and that they have lost their lives doing the same sort of job that you do. What's your reaction to this?
Well, I think I'll say a quick few words that fishermen might do for fallen sailors, and
What are those words? Do you have anything in mind?
oh,
And again, I
just,
know Rory's no poet, but what might a fisherman say over the fallen body of his comrades?
Swift venture to the locker, and may Neptune guide you.
I like that. Excellent. You invoke one of the gods of the sea that the ancient Greeks and likely Phoenicians have followed since time immemorial. You gain some comfort at this, but you have no comfort knowing that your ship is terribly adrift. Give me a mechanical repair roll to see if you can get things under control here.
Can we help?
Yes, if you
Does
want to
that
help, that will give him a bonus die. So you're spending your
Yes.
time as he maybe tells you, turn this lever, twist this knob, check that gauge. Oh, and you got it. So you see that steam is building, but it's holding steady and it's slow. So there is a good chance the fire is not out, or you would see there was no steam pressure. You do have some control over the rudder, but it seems to be limited because without the steam power, it's basically like power steering on these big ships. Is it use steam to use hydraulics to move the giant rudder. You can try to turn the wheel. It's very difficult. Do you want to effort on doing that, or are you content just to wait until steam has built up?
Well, I think I'll give it a moment to build up some pressure. I don't want to overextend the ship when it's already in poor condition.
Perfect. As this happens, Stella, you head back to the radio room. Maybe Rory asks you, go check back on the radio room, see if there's a flare gun or something.
All right.
And as you go around a corner, you see a large white man standing in the middle of the corridor. His ragged suit is covered in blood. There is so much of it that his clothes stick to him in places. His suit jacket and shirt are missing. His trouser legs are gone below the knees. The man's feet are bare, his head is bowed, and his hair dangles down over his face as he stares at the floor. Worryingly, he has a fire axe resting over one shoulder, its blade crusted with blood. Over the opposite shoulder hangs a large, bulging bag, the outside blackened by what looks like yet more gore. When your flashlight falls on him, he looks up wild-eyed. He drops the bag and the axe with a sickening, clattering thud, then falls to his knees, crying, "Oh, thank God, thank God!" His shoulders heave as he sobs quietly. Pushing his hair back from his eyes, he looks hopefully at you. "You've come to help, yes?" He grabs his bag and pulls it in front of his chest, hugging it protectively. "You've come to save us, haven't you?"
Yes, of course. We're here. We're here to help.
"Oh, it's terrible. I think everyone else is gone. I hid for some time. Will you help me save my wife?"
Of course. Billy, come here.
Give me
Yeah, I'm
a
already very concerned about her talking to somebody in the
yeah.
first
You,
place.
you hear
Sorry.
speech. Give me a psychology roll, Stella.
Yes, of course. It's like, oh my God. Oh!
Oh,
Oh!
oh, you.
Oh my God!
That was amazing. That's an extreme success. So your 1/5 of 15 is 3, and you nailed it. So you know that there's something wrong here. His appearance, his story. He just mentioned that everyone's gone, but now he's talking about his wife. That bag. Something looks wrong about that bag. And he sees you pausing and kind of eyeing him curiously. And Billy, you come around William, you come around the corner, and she called you Billy, so I William comes around the corner, seeing this, and you two have a flashback. You have a flashback to the first time you worked together, and the first time you confronted a murderer. How did that go down?
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
take the lead, please.
Okay, so, well,
Oh, how long ago was it?
yeah, alright. I mean, it would have been like, it's 1925.
Yeah, like
It
out of
probably-
school.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
don't know, like 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay.
Pretty recent. Like, we're both pretty. Well, I mean, you're older than me, actually. Just out of
So
I don't
she's
have
a
much
cougar, is what
exposition.
you're saying.
She's 3 years older than me. But yes. We'll go with that. Yeah. How lucky I am. All right. Yeah. So first time we found a murderer.
Yes.
And you,
Well, not quite found.
I can I give you a little build up. So you
Yeah.
cornered this man, and it was in the basement of a house. And
Yeah.
in the house, he had 2 of his victims, and he was skinning them. And when you came downstairs, simply to question him, he was on your list of suspects. You caught that smell, that coppery, bitter smell of blood and animals. And when you opened the door to the basement, you saw that he had a body hanging from its feet, and he was casually peeling skin off with a fillet knife. And when you saw this, William, what happened?
Well, yeah. It's the kind of thing you never forget. Like you said, it's in the smell, it's in the taste. You know, just the sight. It's like it's that moment when reality kind of like changes, and
Yeah.
it never goes back.
Yep, your life is never the
the
same.
inhumanity. Yeah, we're all animals, and seeing it laid bare like that, it's quite shocking. So, we've been tracking this guy for a while. Me and Stella, we just burst in because that's my usual style, and we flew down the stairs. I tried not to look, but I'm an observant guy. I don't know what Stella was doing, as we rushed through. I wasn't paying too much attention, but I think at this point I was holding him at gunpoint. My gun was out before we even got in the house. This guy he'd been up to some shit for a while.
So you knew that Stella was capable at what she was doing, but you still insisted on taking the lead. Now, Stella, when you came into the room, what happened?
Yeah, I looked at the situation. I took a deep breath. Of course, this was upsetting, but I took the deep breath and I seemed perfectly calm at the surface. I didn't show that anything was troubling me, and I was very professional. And I tried to talk down the guy out of holding his knife.
Give me a persuasion roll. And I'm going to give you a penalty die because this is the first time you've ever come face to face with a murderer and caught him in the act.
All right.
So your first attempts to get him to drop the knife, he doesn't listen. And he calmly pulls a piece of skin off, gently cutting away the skin from the underlying fat, almost ignoring you, as though he needn't be bothered by your presence. And William, when you heard this first attempt to try and get this man to give up, and his reaction, what did you do?
Well, yeah, I mean, at this point, William's pretty. Things get pretty serious. I mean, he's not far from us. It wouldn't take him long to get close. William's pretty business. I think he lets Stella talk, but there's like a bit of an awkward silence when he's ignoring her, and I think William's a little annoyed by that. But he's gonna say, "Listen, buddy, we've gonna have a problem here. If you don't put that fucking axe down, then if you fucking move, you're gonna get shot. It's pretty simple, and frankly, you're gonna deserve it.
Give me
It's hard to put you away, buddy.
Give me an intimidation roll with a penalty die. Again, you've talked down criminals, burglars and bootleggers. This is the first time you've come across someone doing something this difficult, and he doesn't seem to be fazed by your gruff nature. You know that when you play the bad cop, that people listen and people obey, but this guy's not obeying. But he looks at you and he locks eyes with you, and he holds up the knife, and he says,
So
"You're nothing but a bag of water." And he stands up. Stella, what do you do?
while he's very eyes very focused on William, I tackle him from behind.
Okay, give me a stealth roll with a bonus die, because William has got his attention. So merely asking him, confronting him, did not seem to work. But when you use your wits, you use the brain that the good Lord gave you, you let William engage him in a battle of wills. And as this goes on, you're slowly slipping around the side, making yourself seem like a mouse, just small, quiet, slowly shuffling side to side. And you notice that he has lost eye contact with you. All of his focus is on William. As you lunge in, give me a fighting brawl roll with a bonus die, because you managed to get the step on him here.
Oh, so close.
Do you want to push that roll?
I think I do. Or would I spend... Is 12 luck too much? I don't know.
It's kind of a lot. If you push it and fail, then you cannot spend
Yeah.
luck then. It's luck now or luck never. What do you do?
Yeah, I want to push it, but I don't see the push-up.
Oh, just go ahead and
Do you have a
re-roll it.
scar in the modern day?
This is where the scar's going to come from. Yep.
Yeah. I still get my bonus die, right?
You do.
Alright. Come on. Oh, yes.
There we go.
Oh, yes.
So, as you tackle him, he spins at the last moment and brings the knife in front of him, but you manage to bring him down. But that knife, that blade, it cuts you. Where does it cut you, and where's the scar?
Wait. Where is he facing me?
So you're tackling him from his left-hand side.
It's like on my upper breast a bit.
On your right or left side?
Left.
I'm going to add a section on your character sheet. Scars. A scar on the upper left breast. Perfect. Now, William, when you see her tackle this man, I assume you spring into action. You see that the knife grazes her across the chest, and you see the flash of blood. What's your response? And we're almost done with the flashback.
Right. So, I mean, I'll be honest. My go-to was to just shoot him. If
Right.
he
And
didn't
so that's
put the axe
that's
down
the
right
question:
away,
is this the first person you kill in the line of duty?
I think he's clearly like insane. I think I'm gonna try to get pretty close to just shoot him. He's
Okay.
resisting. I'm gonna 100%.
Give me a roll. Since he is basically prone, that's going to be a bonus die. Plus, he's wrestling with Stella. Is it 2 bonus die? So it'll be your firearm skill with 2 bonus die. And if you hit, then you get him in the head. Oh, yeah. So that's an impaling blow. So that would be max damage. Which, tell me how he dies, and do you hit him in the head, or I'll let you choose with that sort of roll.
I reckon that's what happened. I wasn't particularly aiming. It was pressed right up against him. You know, Stella had him held down. I wasn't risking any kind of crossfire, so it was it's just like a quick and done.
Perfect.
He was knocked out. Well, forever. Sleepy.
Yep, sleeping forever.
Very morally questionable action, but...
So you probably help Stella up, and then you look down at this, and is this the first person that you have taken their life? Maybe you fought in the Great War, but maybe this is the first?
Yeah, in my mind, I fought in the Great War, but I never, I might have, you know, in the way that, you know, everyone's taking shots, but I never saw. I never.
Yeah, right. Yeah, as far as you know, people probably died, but you never looked someone in the eye or stood next to them when this happened.
Yeah.
And you carry this memory with you, even though you try and lock it out. We're going to fast forward back to the present. You see this man, and you have a flashback of that scene in that basement. And you see this man with the axe on the floor. He's holding this bag that looks to be wet, and there's some sort of black, looks like blood, maybe seeping through the bag. And you instantly recall that memory. I'm going to pull you and Stella into a combat. Let me get this ready here. I'm going to pull the two of you over here. All right, you go in dexterity order. If you're using a gun, you add 50 to your dexterity. William or Stella, do you have a gun? I think, William, do you have a gun in hand? Or Stella?
Yeah, I was out because nobody was in the room with us. So as soon as
Right.
Stella started talking, I was like turning heel and running. Yeah.
Perfect. Stella, did you have your gun out as well?
Not out, no.
Okay. So it would take your action to get your gun out. So William, you'll get to go first, and then this fellow, his name is Cade Thompson, he will go next, and then Stella. So, William, you can, let me get it on you. You can take your action. You can target him, and if you want to use your gun.
Yeah, is that just a pure skill roll? It's not like,
Yep.
Okay.
Excellent. So, okay. So this is another extreme success. This is a penetrating or an impaling shot. So you get to do maximum damage for your weapon, plus then you get to roll the weapon dice. So this 45. It'll do 12 points of damage, plus roll a 1d10.
Sheesh.
Damn, boy!
Wow. So 19 points of damage. Okay, you shoot this guy right in the head. So much for this combat. You took this guy out too. So he is dead. Now he hits the ground with a sickening thud, and as soon as he dies, you see that his bladder releases, and now the smell of ammonia and urine pervades the hallway. You both have a brief moment of a flashback of the first time this happened, and I'm going to ask you both to make a sanity roll.
Did it right this time.
Excellent. If you pass, you lose 0. If you fail, because you have that scar, Stella, from that time in the past, this is particularly difficult for you. And you lose... Oh, it's not that difficult. You lose 1. But now you've got this dead gentleman on the ground. Rory, you hear a gunshot. What do you do?
Well, being a bit concerned, seeing as the William and Stella had just run down that corridor, I will just peek out and see what happened.
You can smell the discharge of a firearm. You know that loud sound you heard was a gunshot. And you head towards that room. William and Stella, you see this man lying dead on the ground in front of you. What do you do?
Yeah, I want to check out, well, I mean, he's a very curious guy, isn't he? I've got a lot of questions.
Yeah.
I'm just generally inspecting, trying to search him, I guess. Pockets, that bag.
Yeah, you open up the bag, and it has body parts in it. There's a hand, a bit of thigh, a hunk of bicep, there's a head. You don't know if this all came from the same person or not, but he's carrying around a bag of body parts.
Should have seen that one coming.
He's got this broken fire axe on the ground, crusted in blood. And
Yeah, maybe
Stella,
I would hand that to Rory. That
yeah.
might be
So
useful.
Rory, do you want this fire axe?
Yeah, I suppose if there's murderers running around on the ship, it would be a good idea to be armed.
Yeah. Let me drag this over to your character. fire axe right there. Perfect. That should show up in your combat section. Yes, it does. Excellent. So you take this fire axe. Are you at all, Rory, disturbed by seeing this? There was potentially a survivor, and now they've killed him.
Well, I think having seen so many of the crew and the passengers dead, this one extra wouldn't have too much of an effect on me.
Right. And you've lived, the law of the sea, where if someone wrongs you, you know that there are bodies down in the sea that have been put there by other humans. It's just part of life. Life is cruel. Life is hard. So be it. Let's cut back to the professor and Rebecca. Rebecca, you make it back into the room where the professor is. I assume you tell him about what you found. Do you take him there?
Yes.
The two of you go back to that lounge, and in that lounge you've got it looks like some sort of ritual has taken place here. Professor, I'm going to have you give me a roll. You can either choose archaeology or history, whatever is your better.
Archaeology is higher for me.
Perfect. Excellent. So you examine the pieces of that urn. It's difficult seeing this site, but looking at the pieces of this urn, you know that it is ancient. In fact, this is older than the last 1,000 years. This is likely the age of the Druids. This could be 4,000 or 5,000 years old, judging by the craft work on here. Some of the symbols, the symbology that's on here. You also know, based on the letter that was obtained, that the letter spoke of 3 unholy vessels, and if the urn fragments here are all that remains of one of the vessels, there are still 2 out there. Give me Rebecca, give me an occult roll. There was mention in the fragment about 30 days, and you begin to draw some conclusions. You know that if the ritual mentioned in that fragment said it would take 30 days, it looks as though a ritual has happened here. That means another ritual is due to take place in about 1 month's time. Understanding that this is not an isolated event, give me a sanity roll, please.
Both of us?
Yes, please. Oh, excellent. You both lose 0. There's no loss for this. About this time, though, you hear a sound. And there it is again.
Oh, it's a cat.
It sounds like a cat.
Bird.
A cat or a
Huh?
bird. Some strange... It's almost like a cat, but there's a piping sound. It seems to be coming from out in the hallway.
I will run out in the hallway and look for a cat.
What is your connection with black cats?
Cats, they just approach me. They feel unafraid and pleased to make my acquaintance, and I feel a sort of connection with them.
As you go out into the hallway, you see this. You see a beautiful little cat. And this cat looks up at you, opens its mouth, and lets out a little cry. You notice that there is a trail of strange black ichor. It glistens with moisture, suggesting it is fresh. Someone or something was here recently and it is near this small black kitten with deep soulful eyes. It sits comfortable, tails swishing with happiness. It scampers into a cabin, purring loudly. The kitten rubs its cheek on the door, and it slowly closes, latching shut.
If the cat is a monster, I'm gonna be so sad.
It has three tails.
Yes, it does.
I'm gonna follow the cat.
Give me a listen roll, Rebecca. And Professor, you see this cat as well, and you noticed the tails on there.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a sanity roll
On a cat?
on a
Dang.
cat.
I'm good.
Oh,
I like cats
you're good.
too.
You like cats, yeah. You're good. Rebecca, all you hear is that sweet, soft little purring.
I'm gonna follow it into the room.
Okay. As you open the door, you hear another sound. You hear the cat, followed by some sort of strange burbling sound, like hot tar or liquid bubbling and boiling. And then you hear another sound, like strange piping sound, metal scraping along metal. Behind the door is complete and utter darkness. Only when that darkness moves do you realize that it is alive. The darkness coalesces into writhing black smoke, from which emerges a bulging body of glistening black flesh. Twin tentacles lined with chitinous barbs unfold from the quivering mass and fly towards you. Send you a picture.
Uh-oh. Do we have to roll for initiative?
Yeah, this is going to be, first it's going to be a sanity roll, as this creature lets out a shriek. It sounds like the grating of metal.
We're good.
Man, you guys are making this hard. But still, seeing this, you're still going to lose some sanity. Even with a success, you're going to each lose one. Wow. Okay. You guys may survive this after all.
Broken, yeah.
Yeah. This beast rises to its full height, bellows out an unearthly scream, and lashes out at you. Let me drag you into an initiative. This is the Professor and Rebecca. And we will go. The beast will go first, followed by Rebecca, and then the Professor. Let's see. The beast has 2 tentacles. It will lash out at Rebecca with one of the tentacles, and one of the tentacles at Professor Walters. Now, Rebecca, you have the option. You can... I pushed the wrong button here. Let's try that again. There we go. You can dodge or you can fight back.
I'm definitely gonna dodge.
Okay, give me a dodge roll. So this got a regular success, so you need at least a regular success. You need to tie or do better in order to dodge. And you do. So this black tendril with chitinous barbs lashes down at you, and you sidestep as it strikes the ground. And as it pulls away, you see it rip the carpet right up. And you know that those chitinous barbs would have done the same to your skin and flesh. It lashes out at the Professor. Oops, hang on. Wrong target. And Professor, you can, that's a regular success. You can dodge or you can fight back. You'll need if you dodge, you need at least a regular success.
And what about?
And if you fight
So I
back,
can-
you need to get a hard success or better in order to
On
succeed.
what?
On your, if you're fighting back, you've got. I don't think you have a weapon, so it would be. Oh, you have your penknife. So that's going to be your.
I have a gun too, I believe. A
Oh yeah,
revolver.
you picked up a gun. So that would be your firearm skill, which is 20%.
I'm probably better off dodging than.
Yeah, so you could dodge here, then on your turn you could use the firearm for sure. So
All right,
maybe
let's
give
go
me
for a dodge.
Yeah, give me a dodge roll. You
I'm a
need
bit
to-
portly. I don't think I'll correctly dodge it. Oh god.
Oh yeah, no, no. So it's going to strike at you. Let's see. And you are going to take some damage. Wow, you take 1 hit point of damage, and you get the sense that that was not a full blow, that if it had meant to do you significant harm, it would have. But you still take a point of damage. We then go to Rebecca. It's your turn. You can stand and fight, you can flee, you can ask where the kitty is.
Oh, I'm still so sad about that. But I definitely don't think I have any sort of chance against this, so I'm just gonna run out of the room.
Give me a dexterity roll to get out of here. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yep. So you you kind of throw yourself out of the room. Do you try and grab the professor and pull him with you, or is it everyone for themselves?
I'll like yell out like, "We need to get out of here," and I'll kind of bump into him, but I'm just trying to get out of there.
Professor, it's your turn. You can draw your gun. You wouldn't be able to attack, but you would go first at the start of the next round, or you can run.
Wait. So, if I try and shoot, I would draw this round and
Yep.
then
And then
I would
the
shoot.
next round, you would add 50 to your dexterity, which would put you at first, and then you would get to go first. So you could draw, and then the next round starts, and you could shoot if you want.
Draw. Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll draw.
Okay, you pull out your pistol. We will start the next round. Now you are still in initiative order, Rebecca, because you're still kind of tangled up here. So you're close enough. Okay, so then Professor Walters, you will go first. So you can
Alright.
fire your pistol.
Handgun. I use my handgun skill, right?
Yes. Yep. Or if you go on the combat page, I think you can just click on the revolver.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. You shoot into the black cloud. It's large. It would be difficult to miss this.
Can I push that?
You can. Let me think. You cannot push combat rolls.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Yeah. There's only a couple rolls that you can't push, and combat's one of them. You can spend luck though, but you can't push that roll.
Yeah, no way.
I'm going to deduct one of your bullets. Normally, I don't worry too much about bullets, but
Only have
because
4
you have
anyways.
a limited amount. Oops, wrong way. There we go. We're gonna track those. So you fire, and you swear that the bullet hit that thing, but it just seemed to pass right through it. Now on its turn, I need. Professor, I need you to make a POW roll. Power. You need to get a hard success here.
It's a success.
A success, but not a hard success. This creature is trying to establish a telepathic link with you. And you can resist that with a hard power roll. But it has the link. It's made connection to you. You feel as though those black smoky tendrils are invading your mind. And you know it's only a matter of time before it begins to affect your behavior. Rebecca, it's your turn. Do you continue to flee?
I guess I can try to help get the professor out. I'll try like grabbing him and pulling him out.
Okay, give me a strength roll. Oh, nice. You grab the professor and begin to pull him away. The professor is stunned momentarily. His eyes are open, he's unblinking, he's looking at this cloud of strange stuff, this part gas, part liquid, part solid in front of you that is trying to speak with him. And as you begin to drag him away, his feet don't want to move, but eventually one next to the other, and you pull him out of the room and around the corner. And Professor, once you're around the corner, you're no longer looking at this thing. Something snaps, and it's like your mind is free again, and you can hear the bulk of this creature beginning to move towards the doorway. What do you do, Professor, on your turn?
Well, my first thought was something to do with fire, but I don't think I have anything that I can light on fire.
Give me a luck roll to see if you have your trusty lighter on you. Oh, so you have your father's pipe, and you don't often smoke, but the feel of the polished wood reminds you of a happy childhood. And as you pat your pockets looking for something, anything, you feel the pipe in your jacket pocket, and you remember you have a lighter. You've got a little Zippo lighter in your left pants pocket, and you pull it out and you look at this. This was your father's lighter. And you don't often keep fluid in here. It's more of just a good luck charm. But for some reason, you filled it with butane this morning. And you know it will light. It's going to be a small flame. How do you propose making this a larger flame?
Let me take stock of what I have.
And your inventory is essentially empty, but you would have some, things that you might normally have on your person. And if anything you don't have, we could maybe put it down to a luck roll.
Perhaps something in my clothing can catch fire easily. Like a handkerchief or something, right? Maybe.
You've got in your pocket. You've got your bus fare. It's your bus tickets for you and Rebecca that would get you back to the university. You could light those. It would be a much larger flame than if you were lighting a handkerchief. You do have a pocket square if you want to light it. It'd probably be easier to light the paper, but you've got all of those things on you.
Right, and the ship is wooden, I'm pretty sure, on the inside, right?
It is, yes.
Right, so my goal is to set some fire, maybe perhaps in front of the doorway, in the middle of the doorway, because my thought process is that my bullet seemed to go right through it, but it seemed to affect the wooden floor earlier. I guess the floor earlier.
Yeah.
So meaning it can affect physical world. So I'm not entirely sure what can harm it, but I think fire might have a good chance. So I'll try and light up a flame to block it inside.
Perfect. Give me an intelligence roll. Oh, nice. Yeah, you are
smart.
You are very smart. You're able to get this flame going, and as you get the flame going, you hear that same squeal again. It's almost like the grinding of metal, the calling of strange, obscene pipes, echoing as though it's trying to speak or say words to you. And you sense it back away from that fire. And you drop the flaming bundle down on the floor or near the door. The door is wood. And it begins the flames lick at the door, and black smoke begins to come out of the carpet as the carpeting and the door and soon the wood frame begin to ignite. And you hear that squealing sound again, and for a moment it's almost like it becomes confused. You hear that kitty sound calling, trying to lure you. and then it's just that bubbling, oozing sound, and you sense that it has moved as far away from this flame as could possibly be. Do you chance a look into the room?
My thought right now is to try and you ever see one of those videos of where people try and clear those police officers and military, they clear a room by getting into like an angle,
Oh yeah,
right? Yeah, I want to try to do that with my pistol.
perfect.
Try and get a look at it as safely as possible.
Give me a spot hidden roll.
Uh-oh.
Ooh. And that's okay. So you peek in. You've got the flames and smoke in front of you, and you're glancing in the room, and you can't see it. You've got black smoke pouring out of the carpet. This thing was partially comprised of black smoke, but you don't see any movement in the room. You don't see any thrashing. More importantly, you don't hear that sound anymore. It's as though it has gone.
I'll look towards Rebecca and be like, do you see anything? Can you hear anything?
You can give me a spot hidden or a listen roll, Rebecca. You are still looking for that cat, I think.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I did see a cat, but it's not here anymore.
In fact, that's your chief concern right now is what happened to the cat? Maybe not realizing that the cat was trying to lure you into the room.
Did I set the cat on fire? Oh no.
Oh,
Oh, no.
I didn't think about that. Yeah, let's get a roll from that. Let's give me another intelligence roll. Ooh, you aren't sure, but that is a worry. You can push this roll if you want. If you don't succeed, you're going to lose some sanity.
Am I trying to convince Rebecca that I didn't set a cat on fire?
Yes.
What's going on?
Yes. So if you can either push this, or if you want to try a skill, you could try like a persuade.
I was thinking persuade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give me, and I'll give you a bonus die because you guys are close friends.
+1. Okay.
Oh, there we go. 10. So, Rebecca, the professor reassures you that no cats were harmed in the filming of this scene. That whatever happened in there, that was no cat. That was an illusion. That was whatever that monster was trying to trick you in, and you know that you have to be on your guard.
Okay.
No hard feelings.
No hard feelings.
You don't hold it against him for setting the cat on fire?
No.
While this is happening, Rory, William, and Stella, you have finished kind of looking over the still warm remains of this man. What do you do?
Well, this is more William and Stella's department, so I will defer to them.
Pass the buck. That's the skill you just rolled there. Excellent. William and Stella, what do you do?
I look at William, it's more it's the apartment.
Nice. William, what do you do?
Oh boy, I suppose okay. Yeah, that's the question. I guess I'm checking it out. I'm getting involved. That was sudden.
So you're checking out the man that you had killed. You find, there was the bag of blood and whatnot in there.
Yeah, I want to particularly check his pockets, personal effects. Maybe he's got a wallet or something if it hasn't been destroyed by all this blood.
Yeah. You go through his pockets and you find some identification. And you see a name, Cade Thompson. Looks like he is from Boston. He's got some documents in his pocket. Looks like some correspondence. He was probably on vacation on the Champagne when whatever happened. Looking at him, his red hair, you suspect he has Irish descent, and it's possible that he was visiting family or going back to the homeland kind of thing. He is completely stained with blood, both his own and that of people he presumably either stumbled upon or, judging by the axe, probably killed. I've got a picture of him. He is dead now, but this is what he looked like moments before you
Handsome
killed
guy.
him. Yeah.
Any hints on his body of what might have tormented him that much to do what he did?
Give me a psychology roll.
And also, if there are traces that makes it clear that he was the one who tore down those bodies.
Yeah, give me a psychology roll first.
All right. Oh no.
No. You could spend 20 luck, or you could push it, or you could move on to doing a spot hidden to maybe check for. So maybe you don't know why he would have done this, but maybe looking at the physical evidence, you can determine his role in all of this.
Much better.
Much better.
Yeah.
That means you're going to go through the bag of parts, and as you pull it out, there looks to be the remains of at least 3 people in here. There's a woman, and a man, and a child. It looks as though he has gone on some sort of killing spree. And why, you have no idea. You have no idea what his motives might have been.
Okay, but it's definitely him.
Yeah, it looks like he is responsible for at least the death of 3 people, if not more.
Okay.
Anything else that the 3 of you want to do with this body?
No, I think Rory will actually excuse himself so he can go check on the bridge and see if the steam is adequate for steering the ship.
Okay. Give me a pilot boat roll. Should be one of your skills. Under P, pilot boat. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there is steam. And not only is there steam, but you're able to engage the drive, and you don't dare push it, but you can get underway at least enough to try and get some control over the ship. You don't have enough speed at current to go into the storm and try and go further out to sea, but you do have some steering and some propulsion, so if another rogue wave comes by, there's a chance maybe you can avoid having that capsize the ship. So you do have some power now to the ship. There is some of the interior lights begin to flicker on as the batteries begin to charge up enough to allow lighting. And as you turn the wheel, it feels like you have full control of the rudder, but it is slow turning still because there is only a bare minimum of steam pressure built up throughout the ship. What is your aim? Do you want to try to pilot it back to Boston Harbor?
Well, I think with enough steam built up now, my main goal would be to get the boat, or the ship rather, steered into more shallow seas so that the anchor will catch.
Give me a navigate roll to see if you know where the shallows are around this part of the ocean. And you fish out here, so I'm going to have you give yourself a bonus die. You would be familiar with this area. Oh, that's close. You're off by 9. Do you want to push it or spend luck?
Can you spend luck on a pushed roll?
Not on a pushed roll. So you either spend the luck now, or you push the roll and take whatever the results are.
I think I will just push the roll.
Okay. You got a 45% chance. And it's still with the bonus die. There you go. So yeah, you know that there are some shallows where you often fish for tuna. It's about an hour away from here, and if you can get out there, a ship this size, the anchor should be able to strike the bottom and hopefully hold. It is a sandy bottom, but there should be rocks and whatnot around large enough to be able to hold this ship in place, or at least vastly slow it down as it's careening towards Boston. So you put in the coordinates in your head, you know which way I got to turn. You look at the compass, tap it a few times, make sure it's floating, spin the wheel, and begin to turn into the storm, somewhat at an angle. The going's going to be a little rough, but you are confident that you've got this going in the right direction. William and Stella, while Rory is getting the ship underway to where you want it to go, what do you do here in the next couple of minutes?
I mean, other than help the steering, I don't see.
Do you want to go check on the professor and Rebecca then?
Sure.
William, do you go with? Do you leave Rory to steer the ship? Rory drives the boat, Chief? Or Rory, do you need any help?
Oh no! You can head on.
Now that you've
down
got
there,
it
Professor.
underway, it just takes one person to steer. They were instrumental in getting all the systems that you needed up and running, but now it's kind of a one-man job for now. So, if William and Stella, do you want to go back to meet the professor and Rebecca?
Yeah, that sounds fine.
You encounter them in a hallway, and judging by the look of them, they have had an awful fright. You see the professor is rubbing his shoulder. It looks like maybe there's a little bit of blood on his shoulder. And his eyes, he has the look of someone who has that 1,000-yard stare. William, you recognize this from the Great War as battle fatigue or shell shock or basically PTSD. He has seen, or something has happened that it wasn't like this when you saw him before. And Stella, you looking at Rebecca, you can tell that she has a very concerned look on her face, as though something has happened to her as well. You meet up in the middle of a corridor. I'll let you kind of exchange information for a second.
It was so strange. I saw this adorable little cat right here on the ship, but when I followed it, it was gone, and this horrible beast appeared.
Does the professor, does he agree with what she just said?
That sums up the situation, I would say.
So
I did set the boat on fire a little bit, so you guys kind of should watch out about that.
William and Stella, upon hearing of something about a cat and a beast and the boat's on fire, what's your response to that?
Yeah. Oh dear, that sounds really upsetting.
Mildly.
There's a lounge not far from here. It's not the same lounge where you found that sacrificial circle, but this looks to be a lounge, and perhaps the professor and William in particular are excited to see that there are bottles on a shelf behind a bar in this lounge. And you head into that lounge. It's dry. There's not a lot of blood in here. This is a place where maybe you can decompress a little bit. There's a table you can sit at. The ship's not rocking as much as it once was. You can feel the shudder every now and then of the engine as the ship seems to be making progress back home. Does anyone want to help themselves to the bar?
I think the professor might actually.
Yeah. You head over and make yourself... What sort of drink would you have? There's whatever you want would be in this bar.
Probably a neat glass of scotch.
There you go. There's even ice in an insulated bucket if you want to get a little ice out of there. Do you pour drinks for anyone else?
Does anyone want any?
I
Probably
do.
the sailor, right?
That's all we need is a drunk sailor steering the ship. Stella, what are you drinking?
Whiskey neat, please.
And William, do you take a drink?
William.
I don't know if he's pushing his push to talk.
Yeah,
button.
apologies.
there we
I
are,
was
there we
talking, but my mic was unplugged for some reason.
are. Oh, shoot.
Yeah. I said I'll have what the lady's having.
Ah, perfect. And what about Rebecca? Do you have a drink?
Oh, I think I will. I'm pretty upset about that cat still.
What do you drink? Is it whiskey for everyone?
Fireball, perhaps?
There we go. Little cinnamon whiskey.
Sounds good.
Mm.
Rebecca, as you are sitting at the table waiting for the drink to come over, give me a listen roll. You can hear the ship, the motor and the churning of the propellers, but the only sound you seem to be able to hear in your head is that little purring and that piping sound. You look around expecting to find that little cat. Something about that just draws your attention. And then you hear, it sounds like some sort of scratching sound, as though there's something behind one of the wooden panels to the side of you. Perhaps it's that cat.
I will investigate this.
Okay, the panel looks like you can probably slide it or pop it out if you have a pen knife or something.
Professor Walters, do you have that penknife? I just need to borrow it really quick.
Well, here you go, my dear.
Thank you.
You pop open that panel.
Yes.
Much to your surprise, you find a petite, red-haired white woman crammed into the tiny space behind the panel. She is clad in a mishmash of random clothing, none of which seems to fit her. You fear the worst until her eyes pop open and she screams, "You'll never feed me to that monster!" in what sounds like an upper-class Irish accent. One hand lashes out at you, wielding a large butcher's knife.
Oh.
And let's take a 5-minute break.
sword. I'm headed to the mountains to rescue the princess from the evil goblin. I ignore all the signs of impending danger because I'm a fighter and not some crappy ranger. 47 hit points and a high dexterity. 17's a strength. Kobolds are afraid of me, crafted from numbers on living paper. I skip from the mundane to a medieval caper. spoken. Hero roll of the dice and my fate is spoken. I locate the lair, but it doesn't make much sense to me. I think that the DM might be out to get me. A hero in armor and truth, parts tell my legacy. The flame of my torch illuminates the enemy. I win in a battle, hewing foes asunder. The deeper I venture, the deeper I wonder. The bodies pile up before me, the corpses I plunder. The deeper I venture, the deeper I wonder. Crafted from numbers on living paper. I skip from the mundane to a immutable caper. And while in real life, my fate is unspoken. Hero roll of the dice and my fate is unspoken. I drink my last potion. I charge through the open gate. The flame of the dragon tried to seal my awful fate. With a handful of dice, 5 times I roll 20. The dragon goes down, the DM will bloody. I leave with the princess, a satchel chock full of gold. We head to the tavern, where my mighty tale unfolds. Crafted from numbers.
Waiting for everyone else, but I am ready to go.
I skip from the
Welcome back,
mundane to a immutable
Oh, you've been here the whole time.
While in real life,
Perfect.
my fate is unspoken.
I was just checking that too. Yeah, looking at. I don't know that it'll be decided tonight. May not even be weeks. I'm sure whoever wins the other side's gonna fight it. Yeah, it's and you, like when I was young. I mean, I'm almost 50. When I was young, like usually the night, 11 or midnight, you didn't want to get the side of the
Struggling to stay alive. It's worth all the hardship though, 'cause now
It's not going to be easy.
now I'm never fight.
Right. Yeah. So, and I honestly I think either one is going to contest whatever the outcome is. So yeah, I'm not expecting that it will be finalized tonight, but hopefully it's apparent who it is, because some stability would be nice one way or the other. I'm not a political person. I don't really have a dog in the fight, but I just want it to go away. I want to play games. That's all I want to do. Oh, you put a bet on it? Nice. Nice. Parlay that into football on the weekend and make a lot of money. Have we got Henrik and Miss Pig? Are you guys back? And Luke, are you back? Perfect. I think we're all here. Let me get us back into the scene. Perfect. So, where we left off, you see a woman. I've got a picture here, maybe. Here's a picture. There's a woman hidden in the wall. And she lashes out, one hand wielding a large butcher's knife. Rebecca, you can either dodge or you can fight back.
I'll dodge.
You'll dodge? Give me a dodge roll.
Yikes.
Ooh. Not so good. So she is going to slash you. For 3 points of damage. And so everyone at the bar getting a drink, you hear this Irish woman, Irish voice scream out, "You'll never feed me to that monster!" And then you hear Rebecca scream as this blade lashes across her left forearm.
Oh. Whoa.
Rebecca, do you want to fight back? Do you want to back away? What do you do?
I will definitely try to back away.
Okay, she's kind of lodged in the wall. She looks like she found her a nice little hiding place, and so as she's trying to extricate herself from the wall, you can easily.
I just close her back in there?
Yeah, you want to just shut the thing. She might, lash at you with the blade, or you could just, tip a table over in front of her, or just walk away because she's not going to be able to lunge out at you until she gets out of the wall.
Yeah, we're
I'll
here.
just walk away.
Yeah, so you back away, kind of clutching your left forearm, and this woman looks around at everyone in the room and eyes each of you, and she notices that you're getting a drink, and she pauses for a moment. "You're not one of them. Who are you?" And sorry, my Irish sounds Scottish, but you get what you get. It'll turn into Australian here in about 5 minutes, so it's about as good as I can do. Who are you now?
Williams.
Right.
Yeah, Williams on his feet, I guess.
Yeah, so you see a woman. She's not covered in blood, but she is wearing all sorts of random clothing, none of which seem to fit her. She's got like some man's trousers on and like an oversized shirt, and she's got a woman's shoes on her feet, wielding this butcher's knife.
I feel like I would first try and help out Rebecca with her wound, right?
Yeah.
Apply first aid.
Yeah, give me a first aid roll.
Oh, do I have that? 1 second. Here it is. I'm.
Wow.
Okay.
How do I fail that badly?
So that's not just a fail, that's a fumble. So, like, here, I'll help. And you stick your finger in the wound that she's got.
Maybe my screw up is that I try and use my drink to.
I like it. So you disinfect it. Rebecca, you're gonna take 1 more point of damage, but that does prevent you from getting an infection. But yeah, he just splashes the drink on your arm, and you let out a little yelp as the alcohol burns away all the bad bacteria and your nerve endings with it.
Right.
William and Stella, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm just trying to put myself between everybody and this woman, and she's asking the question, so I'm gonna try to answer it, I suppose. Well, we're from the harbor, we're from Boston. We're trying to figure out what the hell's going on in the ship.
Do you have your gun out?
Yeah. Okay. Immediately.
Give me.
Not immediate. Like, yeah, okay.
You're not. Are you pointing it at her, or you just have it out?
I do have it leveled, but she seems rational, unlike that axe guy. So
Right.
I'm not, as concerned.
Yeah, give me. You can either do intimidation since you have your gun out, or you can do a persuade roll. And since you have her vastly outnumbered, I'm going to give you a bonus die.
All right. I'll try to persuade her. I'm not feeling too violent. It's a woman. I'm not trying to, like,
Oof.
Oh.
You're persuading her with your pistol. Do you want to push that?
Yeah, I will push it. I'm just, like, trying to persuade her, but at the same time, I'm pointing my gun at her and just kind
Right.
of waving it around a little,
So if you fail this one, she's gonna it's gonna ramp up a little bit because you do have a gun out. But sometimes having the gun out may persuade her to come to her senses. So if you want to push that, go ahead and re-roll that.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So maybe you lower your gun. Maybe you stop pointing it in her direction and point it at the floor. But you
I
still have
catch
it in your
myself.
hand.
I see a bit of alarm, and I'm like, "Oh, I apologize. I was not, just what's going on? Answer the question."
She, in turn, lowers the knife. And then you see her shoulders fall and she begins to sob. And she says, "Please, get me off of this ship. Where did you come from? How did you get here? Is there anyone else?"
We have something that qualifies as a pilot. He's working on the bridge right now. We're going to do our best to get you out of here.
Oh, thank God. Who are you? Are you a Coast Guard? You didn't look like Coast Guard.
I'm with the Bureau of Investigation, federal agent, darling.
Oh, there's been many crimes here, sir. Many crimes.
Dear, yeah, well, I mean, that's that much is apparent. I'm wondering. I don't want to traumatize you, dear, but you got any specifics?
My name's Michelle O'Shaughnessy. I'm here traveling to Boston. I'm to visit family there. And there was a man on this ship, and he was going crazy, talking about some beast made him do it, and then everyone's killing everyone. Everyone reveled in the blood and the bleeding. I saw men hack one another to pieces. I saw women rip the head off their babies. I saw folks killing themselves. All the while this man, he walked around as though it were nothing, as though a man in a storm without a care in the world. Oh, I do not know what became of that man. Older man, looks much like your man over there. And she points towards the professor. A learned man he was. I can only hope that he's dead. And you mentioned the word Sebastian, and you see a flicker of recognition in her eye, and she reaches into the wall and pulls out looks like a map case, kind of a leather tube with a cap on one end. "I've something for ye. For your man over there," and she points at the professor and holds the map case out to you.
I'd step back. My gun's in my holster. I'm probably looking at my drink again and just like shaking a little, gulping that down. Like,
refill. Professor Walters, do you take what she's offering?
Sorry, I just blanked out. What's going on?
So she is holding out looks like a map case, and she's offering it out to you.
I guess if she's offering it to me, I'll take it.
Do you open it?
A map, apparently.
As you open it up, it is not a map. It is some sort of tome, a scroll. It looks like. I'm going to
familiar sight.
I'm going to move this into your inventory. It should show up under. Where is it? Oh, I didn't put it on your character. Let me try it again. Okay, I don't know what it's.
I got the first fragment.
You got
I
it?
think.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Excellent. So you got the first fragment. Oh, yep, there it is under gear and cache. If you click on that, it says this scroll is written on parchment and illuminated like similar religious texts of the time. All the fragments are transported separately in wooden cases sealed with bone caps, each carved with a sigil. And it's that same sigil.
Uh-oh. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to press that.
I don't know what you
oh,
just
I don't
did.
know. I don't know what just
He
happened.
unlocked the Cthulhu.
You did.
He's now a wise, like
So,
mythman. Well done.
so this is actually good. So you were exposed to a traumatic event. You looked at this scroll. So you gain
Well
one.
done.
Curious.
You
I'm
gain,
too curious for my good, I think.
well, you gain one Cthulhu Mythos point. Which this is probably your first point. Now, when you did it add that to your skill?
I have it here. 1 now.
One
It was
now?
0 before.
Perfect. And then I am going to apply a sanity loss. So you lose 2 sanity because of what you have just read. But you have just gained access to the scroll, the first fragment of the scroll of Zyvon. And your initial read takes but a moment. But you recognize that this scroll contains a spell. And this spell is, let me drag it over to your character. That should show
The
up.
beast be halt and shunned.
The beast be halt and shunned. And you recognize that this spell is effective against any variant of a monster, and to invoke it you draw the ward symbol as illustrated, and it's the same symbol that you have seen before. It can be anywhere from as little as 3 inches in diameter up to 10 feet and must be drawn with something visible to others. It will take you approximately 4 rounds to draw this symbol. None of the beast's forms can come within 5 feet of the symbol, nor touch it in any way, meaning that they cannot pass over it if it is inscribed on a floor, wall, or ceiling, nor can they pass through a door or window that has the symbol marked on one or both sides of it, or to either side of its frame. Alternatively, you can create a ward that can be activated at a time of your choosing. Rather than forming a barrier, this creates a trap, and when the creature is over the trap, you can activate it. Takes 1 round. You can make a power roll against the beast, and if you succeed, then it will be trapped. And there's a strange symbol. Let's see if I can. I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you that. I've got it over here. You see a symbol. It's much more involved than the one that you saw at first. It looks like this
Squiggles.
one. Many, many squiggles.
Oh.
Give me an occult roll.
Occult. Didn't pass it.
Do you share this with your student, with Rebecca?
It feels only fair, considering our last, interaction with that creature.
Let me give Rebecca access to this fragment.
Although this spell does seem kind of perfect for me, considering I already did do something similar earlier, right?
Yes, in fact,
I warded it off with fire.
You did, and so it's almost like this spell was meant to be yours.
Destiny. But I don't believe in that.
Let me see if I can do an initial reading on here for you as Rebecca reads this. And you get your 1 point, and you will lose 4 sanity for that.
Gosh.
But you gain access to a spell, and you get the same spell, the beast be halt and shunned. I'm going to move that over to Rebecca's as well. Now, upon reading these, you have a flashback. You have a memory of a time, Rebecca, you went to the professor, and you asked him for access to a book in the library. I'm going to let you guys role play that flashback briefly. So, Rebecca, you went into the professor's office, and what did you ask?
Professor Walters, I just had a question. I'm doing sort of my own little research project, and I need access to a book, but it's in the restricted section of the library. I was wondering if you could help me out.
Well, my dear, you'd have to give me a pretty compelling reason. Is there any specific something you found that could possibly justify this?
Well, I was speaking with one of my close friends. His name is Douglas Wolfe, and he pointed me in the direction of this book, and I feel like this is just, this is something that is calling to me. This is very important to me, and as you know, I've been taking your classes all throughout my time here at the university, and I feel like we're friends. I feel like I can trust you with this.
I look at Rebecca appraisingly. I wouldn't normally do this, but I believe I'll come with you. Because if I'm accessing it, then it's not against the rules, is it?
Very good. You both go to the library and you use your credentials, Professor, to get access to the restricted section. You know, this is where all of the books that are kept under lock and key are kept, and it's not because they are valuable or rare, it's because they are rare and dangerous, that the writings therein are made by madmen, by people who profess that there are fouler things in the world than men. And at this point in your life, you did not believe that there could be such things. Of course, now on this ship, you have seen fouler things than men, and so this flashback is all too painful for you. As you find a book, it's Unas Recklichen Kulten. It's a German book, and there's a translation. You find this translation, and Rebecca, you were looking for something in this book, and as you both are reading and researching, you come across the words to a spell. And it's a spell that Douglas Wolfe had told you about. This is a spell of protection for when you were walking out alone at night, and if you sense that you were in danger, it's a means to try and protect yourself and allow you to hide from anything harmful. And this spell is called the Breath of the Dark Sea. And as you read this, you realized that you could use this, and I've just added it to your character sheet, you could use this spell to summon the very mist of the sea to surround you, or to be in front of you as something to obscure your presence and allow you a means to escape or hide. But you did not have the courage then to try and attempt such an undertaking. Now, Professor, as she was looking at this, you glanced at the next page, and there was a spell there. And this spell was truly terrifying. It was called Call Thou Flesh to Serve. And this spell talked about animating dead skin and flesh, causing the resultant fleshy mass to become sentient and attack as the caster desired. You point to a carcass or lump of flesh gathered for the purpose, and the flesh melts from the bones, as do any organs, transforming into a thick, fleshy semi-liquid, which can move to capture or attack at your direction. The thought of animating this flesh thing is absolutely abhorrent to you. However, in the intervening time between this moment and now, you have thought often about what if that were true? What if a man could call those powers to himself? What if this were actually real? And then, having seen that monster in that room, that cat turned into some great beast of smoke and oil, you begin to believe that perhaps these spells are true. And the knowledge begins to pour from your mind into your conscious thoughts. And you know that if you did the casting, if you said the words, and invoked using symbols and gestures, it is very possible that you could call these spells into your power. And so now you each have 2 spells. And the way spells work in Call of Cthulhu is you could cast them. Everyone will have a casting cost. So, Rebecca, if I look at Breath of the Dark Sea, the casting time is instantaneous. If I look at the details, it says it costs 2 magic points. Now, you have 14 magic points, so you could technically cast this 7 times. You will regain magic points at the rate of 1 per hour. Hit points you regain roughly 1 per day, but magic points are about 1 per hour. If you want to, and then what that will do is that will call forth that dense mist in front of you that will allow you to hide. The other spell that you found, the beast be halt and shunned. That one, if we look at it, that one takes 4 rounds to cast. But it has a different cost. It costs 4 magic points to cast this. Now, for the Professor, Call Thou Flesh to Serve takes 3 minutes to cast, but the cost is greater. It's variable in magic points. You pump as many points into it as you want in order to increase basically the size of this puddle of liquid that was once flesh, but it will cost you your sanity as well. You will lose 1d6 points of sanity just by casting that. And so sanity points do not regenerate like magic points. And so every time you cast, you lose a little bit of yourself until one day you are out of sanity and you become a sorcerer. And I think, as I told you in a private message, sorcerers are made, they're not born. You start out as the Professor, and if you allow the allure of magic to take over your life, eventually you expend all of your sanity until you cannot come back from that, and you gain that forbidden knowledge, but you are lost to reality forever. But now you have at your disposal each 2 spells that you can use. Michelle looks at the 2 of you as you are having this moment of realization that the things that you read in those books must be real, and the thing that you just read in this scroll must be real, that this must be a real power that you can wield. And she looks at you both, looks at Stella and William. Now, how do we get off of here?
Ooh, well, our ship was smashed and the entire crew annihilated just a few moments ago.
You've no way off?
None that we know of. That's including the first mate of the Foggy Sea.
Oh, for hell's sake. Some rescue you are.
Yes, well, it's gone awry, but I mean, this is it's become supernatural at this point. No man could be blamed for this. Perhaps that's Sebastian. I would like to know what happened to him ultimately. But it seems like these 2 know what they're doing with this weird voodoo stuff.
Another ship came by. 2 ships, actually. I saw the first. It was smashed to pieces. I think they'd come to rescue. The other one, Sebastian got off on that, along with a few others. They left this ship to its own demise. They carried something great between them, wrapped in blankets.
Bastard.
Have you
suspect?
Have you seen the Thing wandering the ship?
The Thing? No, we just only run into insanity people. I mean, there was this odd ichor, like orb substance that seemed to try to sap my strength, but...
And she nods her head. Aye, the Thing. And Professor and Rebecca, what is your response when she asks if you've seen the Thing? Not the John Carpenter movie, but the whatever the creature was.
There was a kitty.
Was it a wee cat? Aye.
Yes, it was.
It is no cat.
What?
That thing is some sort of monster. We must get off this ship.
Any lifeboats?
There should be. a few folk tried getting one down. It was smashed to bits, and then that man with the axe came by, and oh, we are not safe in here. He's
that
still
guy,
wandering the
he's
ship.
No, he's not.
What happened to him?
He's dead.
Good. And she does not seem to be fazed by that news. She seems rather relieved. So how do we get off? We cannot stay here.
Until further notice, our best hope's really the first mate up in the bridge.
Let's go back to the bridge. Rory Campbell, you are steering the vessel. There's no windshield on the navigation deck here. It's been smashed in, and the wind is just pouring in. It's getting cold. You're shivering. The breeze is blowing up against you. It's very uncomfortable, but you are stoic, doing your duty. The ship still has that list, and it becomes harder and harder to steer, and the list is becoming more and more pronounced, and you fear that the ship is taking on water.
Well, with a ship of this size, I'm not sure there's much I can do if it begins to sink.
What would your seafaring instincts tell you can be done, if anything?
Well, I would think try and beach the ship would be our best course of action.
Continue to head for those shallows. You continue to head in the direction that you know to be where the shallows lie, and you check the instruments. Give me another navigation roll. Oh, wow. Yeah, okay. You are like a GPS. You are right on course. And as you're
I know these waters quite well.
Quite well. In fact, you pass one of your favorite fishing spots. And what do you call that spot?
Well, that there is it's the tuna hole.
The tuna
It's
hole.
hold many a tuna out there.
A very, very clever name
yes,
for
our,
such a place.
us fishermen aren't very good with words.
No, but as you pass the tuna hole, you know that there's a great shelf of land just below the sea there, where the fish like to stay, and you hear the grating of metal, and you're not sure what could be causing that. As you hear that grinding, almost echoey, squealing sound, and it seems to be getting closer and closer, as though it's coming from just below you, and then you hear the purring of a cat, and it's just below you, and you see seeping and bubbling up from beneath one of the floor drains this black, thick ooze, too thick to be tar, or too runny to be tar and too thick to be oil. But this strange black ooze, the same ooze that you saw down near the boiler rooms, begins to bubble up out of this floor drain.
Well, it didn't seem to be too much of a problem down in the boilers, so I'd imagine I'll just keep an eye on it. If it starts to act strangely, perhaps I'll give it a wide berth.
As you watch, there's more and more coming up. It's not just last time was like a pint or a quart. Now there's a gallon, and then 2. And then you see, as these little bubbles form on the surface and pop, every now and then, one of the pops you see what looks to be some sort of rudimentary teeth, and then they dissolve back into the fluid. Hundreds of little mouths with little almost like sharp fish teeth in there as it bubbles and pops, and then some of the bubbles look almost like an eyeball, and then it pops. And
It's got lifeless eyes, black eyes, like a doll's eyes.
like a doll's eyes.
Oh.
As this begins to slowly squidge towards you on the floor, oozing towards your foot.
I'm going to step out into the weather and see if I can find some sort of container to fill with water. Perhaps the sea will take this thing back.
You find an old slick boot that one of the deck crew was wearing. Probably someone out there with binoculars. There's a boot lying on the ground, and as you pick it up, it's quite heavy. It's full of liquid, probably pooled up water, being out here in the rain. You could try sloshing that on the ooze.
Yeah, I'll fill up that boot and then douse this ooze with this seawater.
Give me a spot hidden roll. Oh, this boot is far too heavy to just be full of water. And you look in and you see bones. There's a foot in this boot. It's the foot of whoever was wearing this boot.
Well, there's no time for worrying about that now. They obviously don't need this foot no longer, and I'll simply remove it from the boot.
Ooh, give me a sanity roll as you stick your hand in and pull this disarticulated foot out of this boot. I mean, you've gutted plenty of fish, but you've never pulled a man's foot like this out of a boot. Oh, you're going to lose 1 point of sanity. How are you doing sanity-wise?
I've only lost 3.
Oh, you got plenty. I know health-wise, Rebecca Shadow is pretty low. I think you're down to 4 hit points, I think I saw. And you can lose 3 more sanity points. Let's just do a quick check here.
Rory's pretty hardy. Yeah. He's still got
Rory, you've still got 12 hit points, and you can lose 7 more sanity. The professor has... let's see, you can lose 6 more sanity and 9 more hit points. William, you've got 12 more hit points and 12 more sanity. And Stella, you have only 5 more hit points and 10 more sanity. So hit point wise, Stella and Rebecca are they're close to 0.
Actually, before I forget, could just when it's back to us, could I try to first aid on Rebecca?
Oh yes. Yep.
Maybe.
Yeah,
go ahead. Like keep going with Rory. I totally forget, so I just wanted to.
Yeah. Yep. Go ahead and do that. And so you get the foot out of this boot. And excellent. I'm going to say that staunches the bleeding. First aid is best used if someone is dying, which she is not yet. But 4 more points of damage, and that will happen. But you get that wound bound. And hopefully, now that it's been cleaned by the alcohol and now bound, it's at least a little more comfortable. The bleeding has stopped. Rory, you pull that foot out and you just toss it over the side.
With a due respect.
A little salute.
Yes.
Little sailor salute. You toss that foot over the side. You allow the boot. There's some water running off of the deck above. You can hold the boot out, fill that full of water. Do you go splash it on?
I'll give a little Neptune's praise onto this water in hopes that Neptune will banish it back to the sea.
Offer up a prayer to Neptune, and you splash the water on it. It does not like that. It recoils from the sound of that water, and you hear that scraping of metal, that strange echoey piping sound, as though it's trying to speak or communicate, and it peels away from that water, almost like oil and water not wanting to mix, and it scurries away from you, clearly, if not wounded, at least uncomforted or discomforted by the water. But
well, seeing this, I will head back out on deck and fill up another boot in case it decides to come back.
It's still coming out of the drain, just a little bit further away, but it begins to kind of ooze up along the side of the navigation deck, over some of the instruments, over the compass, over some of the steam gauges. You've got the boot full of water again. Do you splash it one more time?
I will do that.
Perfect. You splash it over the creature, and there is a release of steam, a hissing sound, as this creature clearly did not like that, and then it explodes out of the drain with anger. That huge, bulking shape, it's black smoke, oil, chitinous plates. You need to make a sanity roll as you see the full structure of this beast. It's no longer oil, it is a sentient ooze. And you will still lose 1d4. Lose 2 points of sanity as you see this strange creature, and it's got 2 long tentacles with chitinous barbs on the end. It's lashing all around. It's smashing and crushing as it goes, as it begins to lumber towards you, unheated by the water. As every drop of water that strikes it just lets off a little blast of steam, as though it's acidic, but it does not seem to be phased. And it begins to pursue you. Do you flee? Do you stand your ground?
I'm going to go and stand under where that water is pouring off of the top deck, so it's just drenching me.
Okay.
And hopefully this will deter it.
Why did I roll a d4? What's that? Huh?
You wanna? Oh, I don't know. That is weird. Oh, I had I had your character selected, and then I rolled sanity dice for him, so it looked like you had rolled it.
I was like, what? I was like, what?
What? Like, I know I just rolled that. You stand underneath that little outpouring of water, and it's just drenching you, and it's ice cold. It's frigid, splashing over you. The beast lumbers towards you now out of the deck, out into under the open sky. Water just pouring on it in sheets, steam rising up as though it's striking hot coals, and it lashes out at you with one of its tentacles. You can make a dodge roll if you like, otherwise it's coming at you.
I will attempt to dodge. I don't think force will have any effect on this creature.
It's kind of a half-hearted jab. Go ahead and make your dodge. It seems not deterred, but definitely not liking the water, and you manage to sidestep it. And it continues to press towards you. Again, steam just rolling off of its back.
In fact, I'm going to see, as I kind of maneuver around it, if I can't push it over the railing.
Push this beast over the railing? Okay, you need to make a fighting maneuver roll. This thing is quite large, so you'll make a fighting brawl roll. And it's going to fight back. So when it fights back, if it succeeds where you got a failure, then you will take damage. As it lashes out at you with another tentacle. As you draw in close, it's a little, it's still cautious. It's hesitant, reluctant, but you are unable to move this great bulk. It's the size of like a cow. I mean, it's pretty large. You're right up against it. Do you want to try and continue to press it? As you press up against it, it's like pressing into jello. It's gelatinous. It's thick, but it's soft and giving.
I think after having touched it once, that I'm going to recoil at the feel and back up, and perhaps just try and see if it will leave me alone. If I simply stay out here in the water, see if its disdain for that will.
Give me a dexterity roll as you back away from it. So you back away, but the deck is really slick, and
Can I push that?
You can push that if you want. If you fail that, you're going to fall and be prone on the deck, but you can push that. So you begin to slip, and you almost start to lose your balance, and you reach out your arm and catch the railing and pull yourself up just as a tentacle lashes out and strikes the deck right where your foot was, and you see it splinter wood from the teak deck, and you see fragments of wood blast up in the air as that great tentacle strikes down, and you know that would have crushed bone had that struck you. And it continues to lumber towards you, unheeded. Again, the water is pouring around it. You can't quite tell, but maybe it's making its job a little more difficult. But it does not seem to be deterred in the least. It's chasing you down.
I think seeing that nothing can stop this creature of the depths, that I'll begin to run.
Give me a power roll. You need to beat a hard power as it tries to overcome your mind. Ooh. You pause for a moment as you sense intrusive thoughts, and it begins to speak to you, and it asks you to listen to the piping sound, to listen to this voice from beyond the stars. And as this begins to speak to you, you get the sense that it is far easier to obey than it is to resist. And the creature moves closer and begins to wrap its bulk around your legs. And now we're going to go back to everyone other than Rory. Back in the room with Michelle. You have had a chance to look over that scroll. You've had a chance to make those realizations that magic is a true and terrifying thing. And she demands that you get off of this ship. And you notice that the ship begins to slow, as though the shuddering that you were getting used to of the engine seems to be slowing somewhat. And then you realize that you're turning sharply. And you're turning sharply to the right, which is causing the list to improve, or to increase even more. And you know that Rory is driving the ship, but now it's a sharp turn. This is not expected. You're turning much more sharply than the ship would comfortably turn. What do you do?
I suppose, yeah. I mean, common sense. This is a problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
Head up to the bridge.
Michelle will go with you. She's not leaving your side. You've got all the guns and the weapons. You're the only way out of here.
Stay close.
Aye.
I'm going with.
As you're walking down a hallway, Stella, you peer into a room and you see something that just tugs at your very heartstrings. You see a child's doll. It's missing an arm and it's covered in blood. Give me a sanity roll. This looks like a doll that you had when you were a little girl. You're going to lose 1 point of sanity. As you recognize this doll as not just like the one you had when you were a little girl, but this is the one you had when you were a little girl. And it reminds you of something in your past that was very traumatic as a child. But you block that away for now. And you tell yourself it cannot be that same doll. And you press yourself further onwards in the sense of duty. You make your way forward, and as you head towards the navigation deck, you see that great and terrible beast. And Stella and William, this is the first time you have seen it. You need to make a sanity roll. As you see Rory being engulfed by this beast. Out in the cold air, the rain pour. Ooh.
Yeah, that's supernatural. That ain't right. Oh, darn it, you don't care, huh?
Ah,
So Stella, let me make sure I'm not clicked on Stella here, so it doesn't look like Stella rolled this. Stella will lose this many points, 3 points of sanity, and Rory will lose. Let me see how many. Oh man, it's a lot. It is a lot. William, you're gonna lose. This could be bad. If it's more than 5.
Oh no, yeah, I don't want 5.
Oh, that's not what I want. Helps if I type it in. I forgot the R there.
Right now.
Oh, safe.
Okay, 2 points of
Thanks,
sanity.
Yeah, this certainly ain't right, but got job to do.
You see this huge creature just. Rory seems helpless. He's standing there, and this thing is just swallowing him up like a black fog bank. Now, Rebecca and Professor Walters, you're fully aware of what this creature can do. What's your reaction? What's your response?
The spells are still fresh in my mind, so
Do you want to cast a spell?
yeah.
Which spell
think
do you want to
so.
cast? The first time you cast a spell, you have to make a spell casting roll. It's a hard power roll. And if you succeed, the spell goes off. If you do not succeed, you can push it. And if you push it and succeed, the spell goes off. If you fail, the spell still goes off, but something bad happens.
Did I also, this is Rory, did he also take the 2 sanity points?
Did you take that from the first time you... I think...
I already saw the beast, but it's engulfing me, so I
Oh,
didn't
no,
know
no.
if
In fact, you're basically enthralled by the beast.
Okay.
So yeah, you do not need to lose that. So if you want to try to cast a spell here, you're going to need to make a hard power roll for the first time you cast it. Once you've done this on that spell, you never have to do this again. You can just cast it. But the first time is always the hardest time. What spell
Right.
are you going to cast?
Could you, real quick again, just describe the layout around me? What's going on?
Yeah, so you are outside on an upper deck. There is you're on like a walkway, and there's a railing that will go right over the side of the ship. And forward of you, towards the front of the ship, you can see about 50 feet away this big black creature swallowing up Rory, who is just standing there, not fighting back. Beyond that, there is the door that leads into the bridge. This deck is awash with pink fluid. It's blood diluted with water. There are bits of flesh, little clumps of flesh here and there. There is an arm, a hand. You see a head kind of rolling back and forth as the ship lolls side to side.
So, okay, guess I'll consult with Rebecca real quick. You know,
Okay.
she's my student. We'll think this through. My first thought is to use that ward because this is Agrin, right?
Yes, and so you know
Yeah.
the name. She has deciphered the name Agrin.
Right. And one of my spells is a ward specifically against Agrin. I would assume that's my strongest tool against it at this
Is
point.
that the beast be halt and shunned?
Yes.
That's going to take about 4 rounds to cast. So you'll be busy casting this while this happens. The way that this will work, for this spell, you would draw this symbol, and then this could not pass this symbol. But you can draw it and not activate it, and when it passes it, you activate it, and then it could trap it. And so this would be a way that you could potentially trap this creature here. But that's going to take you 4 rounds to prepare the symbol. I'll say it's reduced if Rebecca is helping you. And then you'll have to lure the creature onto that symbol, and then it'll take 1 round to try and trap it. And it would be an opposed power roll for that. So it would take you some time, but it is possible. With the rain out here, you're going to have to do it in something that will not simply wash away in the time it would take the beast to get over here.
Now it seems less appealing to do.
It might be easier to do this not outside where it's rainy, and maybe lure the beast inside.
Oh, quick question. If we do put a ward down and the creature approaches it, and it'll probably like back away, right? From the ward?
If the ward has been activated, it could not physically pass that. But if it, let's say that you put it on the floor and then like fire burns the floor and it burns wherever you wrote the ward, then it could pass that. But if you ride it, you could cover it with something, and then like it doesn't have to be visible for you to trigger it. So you could have it on something, and then as the beast walks over it, then you could activate it and kind of set a trap for it.
Because right now my thought is Rory, because
So yeah, this
if we
would
trap
not help
it-
Rory right now. You need to get Rory out of there, and then maybe try and lure it. But maybe inside to where it's not raining would probably be the best place. And there's a couple of doorways leading into hallways and passageways. There's large dining rooms not far from here.
Can the flesh thing from my other spell, it can only do attacks, right?
That can do attacks and let's see. It can capture or attack, so it could try and hold. You'd have to dump a lot of points in to give it size. So one magic point would give you 5 points of size. To give you an idea of that, like this creature that you're fighting has a size of 100. So if you're going to try and capture it with that, you would need to dump in like 20 magic points, which I don't think you have that many.
What about Rory? Can I capture him?
You could capture Rory.
That seems more manageable. I
Yeah.
want to kind of take him out of there so that we can
So
somehow handle the beast.
a downside with this spell is it takes 3 minutes, and Rory might well be destroyed by then.
I think I've got enough luck that
If you had to.
if I have to, I can burn that.
Anyone have any ideas?
'Cause it's 30 luck points to prevent your death.
Yes.
So I have 38, so I have enough luck.
I do like the idea of using the ward to trap it, and then hope you can get away before it can the ward is damaged and it is freed again, and maybe lure it inside of a room. You could try it out here, but I would make a luck roll to see if the rain washes away all your hard work.
Yeah, if we trap the beast, Rory will not be trapped as well, right?
If you trap it now, Rory would likely. Oh no, I see what you're saying. No, Rory could walk right away from that. It would just trap the beast, but Rory
Okay.
would not be trapped as well. He would just have to get away from being engulfed by this beast. Which, if he
Alright.
can make a hard power roll, he is no longer enthralled, and then he can fight his way out.
Okay, I'm gonna go for setting a trap down. Is there any canopies above me anywhere? Like
Give me a
sort
luck
of
roll.
ceiling? Luck roll.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay, not only are there canopies, but you find a can of fresh paint. You got an extreme success on your luck roll. There's a can of paint here where someone was to be painting the side of the ship.
Right. Okay. That's good. I'll use that, and I need to find a dry spot to put this down. Actually, paint. Isn't the kind that washes away? All paint washes away, right? I don't know enough
This
about
is
paint.
marine paint, so it's pretty water resistant.
Okay. Rebecca, I need you to help me out. I need to set a trap for this beast. I need you to get everyone to cooperate to lure it into this trap.
Alright, sure.
So if you
Yep.
want to begin casting that spell, you need to make a hard power roll. So make a power roll. You need to beat your 1/2 value, which your power is 65. So 32 is your 1/2 value.
No, wait.
No.
Oh, you want to burn 1 luck point? Oh,
Yeah, I mean, is this combat though?
No,
I don't
no,
think
no,
so.
this
yet,
is not
right?
combat. So yeah, you can burn 1 luck point and pass that.
Okay, I'm burning a luck point.
Okay, so you you call forth the words to this spell, and it begins to flow from your mouth as though there's a voice speaking the words inside your mind. And as you are tracing that design that Rebecca found, that sigil that spells out the name Agran in paint, you intone and evoke those words that will cause this beast to be trapped, bound, and shunned according to the spell. Rebecca, he wants you to try and get everyone to lure the beast here. So you're with him while he begins casting the spell, and then what do you do?
I'll go to the group and kind of explain what we're doing and just be like, we need to get it over here.
Okay. William and Stella, you see Rory being attacked by this beast, being swallowed, just engulfed like an amoeba engulfing some paramecium. You hear Rebecca telling you that you need to lure this beast inside, and she's pointing at a doorway, but you see Rory needs to be saved. What do the two of you do? And then we'll go back to Rory after that.
We gotta find a way to kill two birds with one stone. It seems. Maybe we can save him and distract it at the same time. But Lord knows how. Nothing I've got against it will work. It's unnatural.
Stella, what about you?
Clara.
Clara, are you there?
I think she's trying to talk.
Uh-oh. Did we lose Clara? Uh-oh. I see it's green on Discord like she's talking. I just do not hear her.
Perhaps she's stunned silent by the beast.
Oh,
Yeah.
got her vocal cords. Are you on push to talk, Stella? Well, she is just stunned. She's overwhelmed and overcome by this scene of horror. Let's go to Rory while Stella tries to find her words. Rory, give me a hard power roll. You need to beat your hard level. Which for you need to beat a 25.
Ooh.
Oh!
I can spend
You
3
can
luck
spend 3
points.
luck. Yep. Okay. So you spend the 3 luck, and you call upon your inner strength to break this hold, this mental hold. Thankfully, you're not the brightest bulb in the drawer, and it's not hard for you to resist this persuasive nature. This is a highly intelligent creature trying to communicate on your level, and it's not succeeding. You know that you should have stayed in school. In fact, I believe part of your backstory has to do with like your younger brother, and you've encouraged him to stay in school.
Indeed.
Is that correct? Let me pull that up. Your little brother John, you want him to stay in school and get an easy job, not gutting fish. It says getting, should be gutting, not gutting fish for the rest of his life. And so you think of your brother John, and you think of all the people who are counting on you. And in doing so, you break the hold of this beast. What's your action?
I think I want to get as far away from this abomination as possible.
You can, you are basically, your legs are being swallowed up by it. You'll have to make either a fighting maneuver roll or a strength roll.
I will make a strength roll. Neptune, give me strength.
Ooh. I was going to say you need a hard success, and you got it. You rip your legs out from this, but your boots stay. And you're now barefoot on the deck. It's very slick. You fall down onto your back and begin to push and squirm away. And at first it's like laying on ice. You're trying to push and you can't get traction with your bare feet. And you roll onto your belly and get up just as the beast begins to lumber towards you. You're running towards Stella and William and Rebecca. The three of you seeing Rory free and seeing the beast lumbering towards you, what do you do? You know the plan is to lure it inside. How do you do that? And do we have Clara? Is she back yet? Or I think she's been here. We just can't hear her.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, hey, there's
Sorry.
Clara. There we go.
All right. So I kind of wasn't really like, and when I say I mean William. William was not really paying much attention to this like weird ritual stuff. He's kind of pretty strange.
It's like
But
spell.
he's not
What are
really
you
sure
talking
if
about?
like leading it in. What does that mean? Is he supposed to go in too or whatever? So he's a little hesitant, but he likes being between that thing and everybody else. So I assume he's just like desperately backpedaling and hoping for some kind of gestures.
Yeah, you know that you probably don't want to go forward. Your safest place on this ship is wherever this thing isn't. Rebecca, give me a persuasion roll to try and get him inside, and put a bonus die on that. Oh, nice. Yeah, you sense he has no idea what you're talking about ritual and trapping, but you talk him into the fact that inside is better than anywhere right now, and he does insist on interposing himself between all of you and the beast, but slowly you begin to back away. And Rory, you are soaking wet, and you notice that the cloth of your pant legs is black and scorched, almost like acid had burned it. And upon you breaking free, the beast, it gave out those soft little squeals at first, like the grinding of metal, the chiming of pipes. But now that it has been denied its meal, it lets out a truly frightening and angry squeal and scrape, almost like the fingernails on a chalkboard, and it begins to lumber towards everyone. And let me put us in some initiative order here. Okay. The beast will go first. The beast is it's going to lash out at William because he is kind of protecting and guarding everyone else. The beast will lash at you with tentacles. You can try to dodge, or you can... Oh, gosh. If you want to dodge, you just need an extreme success. If you want to fight back, you need a critical. You need a 0-1.
Ooh. I think that's a dodge, I guess.
I think that's a dodge. I'll click on the dodge here for you.
Ah.
Nope. So it's gonna... Oh, man, this is gonna hurt. How many hit points do you have?
12 left. I've got 13 full that I got wounded.
How much luck do you have?
Not too much. Like 26. Oh, I'm just dead, huh?
I'm not ready to do that. This would just kill you outright. It's gonna... Okay, give me a Constitution roll. You're gonna take a major wound. Okay, so you remain conscious, but you are you're down to 1 hit point. That's a major wound, and you are dying. Or sorry, you're not dying. You're prone, but you're conscious. So this tentacle hits you and just drives you down. The major wound is a broken arm. It has broken your left forearm, and you lay there in a heap, having been knocked to the ground, simply overpowered by this thing. We go to Rory. Your turn.
Well, I think Rory, thinking his vessel is doomed, and knowing that this thing originated in the boilers, he is going to head back into the bridge and just turn up the steam in the hopes that he can blow the boilers.
So this thing is kind of in the way of you getting to the bridge. the short way. You could go around. You have to climb up a deck, over and back down. It's going to take you out of the fight for a couple rounds, but you could do that if you want to.
I think that the great mass of this might be in the vents and the boiler system, so I think that's what Rory is going to do.
There's a chance it may follow you instead of being lured into that room. Do you want to run into that room and then try and double back?
I suppose I could do that.
Okay. Rebecca Shadow, what do you do?
I guess I just, like, keep trying to lure it. I don't know.
How do you lure it? Do you help William up? He's on the ground.
I mean, yeah, I guess I could.
Okay.
What's your firearms? I could just, while I'm doing it, say, take it out of my bag, or that cost a turn.
Her firearms are pretty low. It would take her turn to get it out of the bag. Yeah, she's only got a 20 with firearms.
That's about. I think I have that much too.
She might know which way to point it, but I'm not all 100% certain she could figure out the safety or things like that.
Okay.
Do you want to help him up, or do you want to just try and get the beast's attention?
I'll help him up, I guess.
Okay. He did a first aid roll on you on your forearm. At some point, he's going to need a first aid roll because he does have a major wound. You don't need to do it now, but at some point that will need to be done. But Rebecca helps you to your feet. Maybe you figure it's best to keep the group as a whole rather than spreading out. Let's go to William. It's your turn. You have regained your feet, but you are grievously wounded. Let me take prone off of here. There we go. What's your move? Do you want to fire at the beast? Or I think I said Professor. Sorry, William. Your turn.
Oh, apologies. Sorry, what was that? Oh, what am I doing?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's well, I mean, last time I was here, I remember I was getting up from Rebecca. What's going on now?
Yeah,
Sorry, I
so
blanked a little.
that's okay. So she's helping you up. It's your turn. So you've regained your feet. The beast is still lumbering towards all of you.
Right. I'm kind of like, I'm not really going to try to fight it, that's for certain.
Yeah, like that one blow, like your life flashed before your eyes.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can't really first aid myself. That's pretty weird.
No, but you.
There's no fix a broken arm.
Right. Yeah, that's you're gonna need a cast, or depends on how badly it's broken. But it definitely feels like there's not bone sticking out, but it feels like you're gonna need some medical attention at some point.
Right. I mean, I'd like to contribute to the overall plan of crapping this thing. If anyone has any ideas, otherwise, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do here.
You're just trying to lure this thing inside. Maybe you could act as bait, or whatever you think would be the easiest way for that to happen.
I don't know, just shout at it, I guess.
Yeah, you could try shouting at it if you like.
My arm may be broken, but I'm actually an inch from death. If I trip and fall, I'm dead.
Right? Yeah. If you get a cold here, sneeze too hard, or eat Taco Bell, that's it. You're over. If you want to make give me an idea roll. That would be an intelligence roll.
That is actually probably what I could use right now. Just trying to think.
Perfect. This thing clearly likes blood. It tried to drink some of your blood. There is blood around and some body parts. This thing needs to feed. If it's like any other organism, it needs sustenance, and maybe you can lure it with blood or sustenance.
Right. I've got a weird suggestion, I guess. Okay, it got my arm earlier. Remember, it wants blood. We've got anybody's still have an open wound. I mean, Rebecca, you was covered,
Rebecca
right?
does, yeah.
Think about it. This thing loves blood. People were drained.
The professor, you are doing your casting roll, or you're
Right.
still drawing the symbol. Miss Stella, your turn.
Yes, I want to do first aid on William.
Perfect. Give me a first aid roll.
Oh,
Oh, excellent. You know just the thing that he needed. So I'm actually going to take that major wound off of there. It will still take some time to heal when we're all said and done, but you are not going to take any ongoing damage, which is really nice, since you can't take any at this point. Just your gentle touch is enough to staunch his pain and ease the discomfort that he is feeling. And that's all well
Other
and
than
good. Right, other than blood. The beast is going to rush forward again. It is going to try to enthrall Stella. Give me a power roll. You need to beat a hard power. 2 stars.
Power.
it's one of the stats.
Oh
Like
yeah,
strength. Yeah.
there it is.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh.
that's 100.
I was like, oh, she.
Yeah,
rolled a,
I saw the double zero,
Great.
but yeah, that's a fumble. So you're holding his arm, and William, you notice that as she's kind of rubbing your arm and telling you it's going to be better, it's going to be better, it's going to, and she stops. She stops talking, and you feel her grow stiff. And you look back and you see blood beginning to trickle from her nose. Let's go to Rory. So you run inside and you see the professor. He is kneeling on the floor drawing this symbol in paint. And he's putting a circle around it and he's muttering words to himself. He's completely tuned out to everything else that's going on, completely in focus. Do you continue on towards the bridge?
I just know that I need to get to the steam control so that I can blow the boilers.
So you know if you go into the bridge, assuming it hasn't been destroyed, because the beast did wreak some havoc in there, maybe you can just turn up the, or like ask too much of it, of the bridge. You were hesitant to give it full power because you didn't want to overload it, and you could just overload it. So it'll take you one more round to get there.
I will head on my way to the bridge.
Rebecca, your turn. So you see something has happened with Stella. She has suddenly paused and stiffened up, and you see blood beginning to trickle out of her nose.
Right, so going with like the blood idea that William had, I'll maybe try to draw its attention by like squeezing the blood out of that open wound that I
On your
had.
arm, you take 1 point of damage. You actually have to take your nail and kind of dig it into the wound a little bit. You let out a little yelp of pain, and blood begins to trickle down on the ground. William, it's your turn.
Yeah, so I like to think, I don't know if this is, this is clearly very supernatural, but I think my attention's obviously on Stella, and I
Yeah.
think William's trying to, I don't know, persuade her, hey, think about how much I need you, you're the one who solved that case, our first case, I wouldn't be here without you.
You try and get her attention. You're snapping your fingers in front of her face, and you're looking, and she's just looking through you. Do you do the horribly masculine stereotype, and do you give her a little slap?
James Bond style.
Right?
Ooh, that is very James Bond. It's 1925, I think I can get away with it.
Yeah,
right?
it would be almost expected.
Yeah, we're going with it.
Sweet. Give me that would be an intimidation roll.
I made a joke about intimidating her to come back to me earlier. It's like because of course I wouldn't do that.
Right.
Kind of joke. That's funny.
But if you succeed on this, it's going to give her a bonus die on her next willpower roll. Oh yeah, nice. So then Stella will get a bonus die on her next roll. which the professor's continuing to do his thing. Stella, give me a power roll. With a bonus die, you need to beat a hard success. As your husband is pleading with you to come back to him.
Oh,
Ooh, nice.
Oh, a 6. I'm going to say it's because actually it wasn't from the bonus die, because that would have been the other die. But you hear the love in your husband's voice. It's gruff on the exterior, but you know that he's just a big teddy bear inside. And he gives you that little slap, and it kind of makes you a little angry. You're not one to just simply take that, and it snaps you right out of whatever spell has held you bound. And you look at him with a little bit of anger. Do you smack him back?
Oh yeah.
Just don't do any damage, because he's got 1 hit point. So,
Oh god. I hope not.
so yeah, you slap him across the face, and you kind of give him a little crooked smile, like I'm here. And yeah, that could have been really bad. That was actually a really cool moment. I really like that. The beast, Agron, at sensing that mind control slipping, is going to try it on the last person here that he has not attempted this on, and that is going to be Rebecca Shadow. Give me a power roll. Oh, and you needed a 35. Do you want to spend 3 luck points?
Yeah.
Yes, you do. So,
that feels like a 1 point moment.
yeah, you definitely want to spend 3 luck for that. You resist it, and it sweetens the pot by sending you that little kitty cat sound. But you know that is not the kind of cat that you want, and you shrug that off. We go back to Rory. You are in the bridge. There's some significant damage here, but you can find the mechanisms to work the power. You just push the throttle all the way forward, if you like.
Yes, I'm just going to overload the steam and hopefully blow up the boilers.
Give me a pilot boat roll, because you're going to have to beat some little overload circuits on here, some for the time rudimentary wiring. Yep, you got it. So you know exactly where to take the governor off, and you demand everything that the ship has.
Hopefully this weakens it enough to get into the room for the professor's spell.
And you see the pressure beginning to slowly climb on the steam gauge. Rebecca, your turn. It seems to have been attracted to your blood. It tried to empower or to enthrall you with its power. It's lurching after you, after the blood. Do you head in towards the room where the professor has his symbol, which will be ready by the end of this round?
Yeah, I'll make a little blood trail towards it.
Perfect. And then I'm assuming, so you're backing in there. William, it's your turn. Do you and Stella head into that room?
Yeah, at this point, like, Rebecca's like my conductor. I'm just trying to do whatever I can to help her achieve whatever this weird voodoo magic stuff is.
Perfect. The professor finishes the warding. Do you cover it with the canopy that you found?
Sure, yeah.
Excellent. The next round, the beast lumbers into this into this hallway, into this room. You all kind of back away, and it goes in with some trepidation, as though it senses something is not right. Rebecca, do you go and stand on that canopy and drip blood on it?
Yeah. Okay. Do I know if anything like bad is gonna happen
don't.
if I do that?
You don't know.
Okay.
Do you want to find out?
I'll just do it anyway.
Okay. You go stand on that canopy, dripping blood. You're gonna lose 1 more hit point because you're digging in to get some significant blood on here. Are you down to what, 2 or 1?
Yeah, 2.
Down to 2. You get some blood dripping on the canopy. The beast lumbers onto the canopy, and now, Professor, you have a chance to try and trap it. Now, according to your spell, you need to beat it's a opposed power roll. So you need to make a power roll, and let's see, you get a
Opposed roll card.
well, you could just make a power roll, and you get I'm trying to figure out your bonus die. How many magic points do you have?
13 out of 13.
So, and this costs 4. You could blow 10 magic points and get 1 bonus die on this power roll.
Yeah, I'll do that.
You're gonna get those back at like 1 an hour, so it's not a bad idea.
Yeah, this seems very important.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll roll with 1 bonus die.
Okay.
That's a lot of dice.
I'll roll for the beast. So Agrin failed. He got an 87. He has a 70. He got an 87, and you got a success. So you win the opposed power roll. There's a blinding flash and the stink of brimstone and sulfur, and you see Agrin writhing in agony over that symbol that you drew. The canopy begins to dissolve and melt away as his acidic juices simply melt right through it, but it cannot sear through that symbol. It seems to have been trapped. You have successfully trapped this beast. Rory, the steam is up in the red line area, and the ship is beginning to shudder. Everyone can feel the ship beginning to quake, and then you hear a popping sound. And with that popping sound, the bow of the ship lurches forward, and water washes up over the deck as suddenly it has the rear of the ship bursts up into the air as the boilers begin to go. You estimate that you have this many minutes. So 15 minutes before this ship is going to explode. I'll take us out of combat because Agrin cannot move. How are you getting off this ship in the next 15 minutes?
Well, hopefully there's a lifeboat or something. Of
There
the
are
sort.
lifeboats. One was smashed, but you guys can go up onto the top deck and try and get some lowered. We'll kind of fast forward there. You make it there. It's going to take a strength roll. I don't think William's in any condition to help with his arm, or Rebecca.
Who's the
Perhaps,
strongest?
It's
Stella or Rebecca.
Rory has a
Yeah, I'll go for it.
75.
Rory, go for
Yeah,
it.
it's probably gonna have to be Rory. Strength is 75. Stella's is 35.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. You get a lifeboat lowered down. Let me see how long that's going to take.
Fast man.
Wow.
So
yeah,
1
see
minute.
what he does.
That thing. You didn't have to waste any time. You know how this stuff works. Thank goodness you guys brought someone that works on a ship. You get loaded in there. Give me a luck roll as you lower this down in the middle of this storm.
And Rory will make sure he's the last one on board, and he'll give everyone a life float, but he won't take one himself.
You'll never put on a life jacket again.
Definitely not.
I hope you guys are
Can I
getting
help
these
him?
Jaws references that we're throwing out here.
I've gotten a couple now. Might have missed one or two.
I was asking if I could help him.
Yes. So why don't you give me a luck roll as well, Professor?
Typical.
Oh, lucky man.
Okay. So Rory, you are, as it's getting lower, you are reluctant. You've almost come to claim this ship as your own. You got it back working. You got this ship under power. The chivalry part of you just go down with the ship. But the professor is like, "What the hell are you doing? Get on the lifeboat!" and grabs you and drags you onto the lifeboat. You begin to push away. It's going to be another strength roll to try and distance yourself from this ship before it explodes. So, and I'm assuming that Rory's going to be doing the rowing here.
Oh,
Oh yeah. You know, you can definitely row.
After I give the ship its last rites and see it down to the depths.
Give me a pilot boat or a navigate roll. I'll let you decide which one.
damn.
Pulling through.
You know just how far you need to get away, and as soon as you begin to push away, there's a huge explosion, and the ship begins to sink very quickly. And no sooner does the ship begin to sink than the clouds break almost. Did I send that picture? I think you got it.
I got it.
Almost by magic, as though whatever was causing this storm has simply left. And you row yourselves back towards Boston, the SS Champagne heading down to the bottom. You had Michelle O'Shaughnessy with you this whole time. I know she didn't do
Yeah.
much.
That's what I
in
was gonna
combat.
ask.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was gonna say, she's really
she was
quiet,
there.
huh?
Yeah, she
Yeah.
leaps
For an
off
Irish
the ship
woman.
and leaps onto the lifeboat right as you guys start rowing away. Now she was with you, probably helping the professor because she did not want to be out there with this beast. So you, thanks to Rory's skills, you make it back to land. You're taken. I can turn off the storm sounds. You make it back to the harbor master's office, where Thomas Morehouse questions you about what happened with the champagne, the foggy sea, and the harbor's pride. You tell them the terrible tale that it was a total loss, and that as far as you know, there were no survivors. But Michelle does not mention to the police and kind of gives you a look when asked about survivors. She clearly does not want you to mention that Sebastian fled the ship ahead of time. He's out there somewhere with the remaining 2 urns. And that is where we will end the session, right at 9 o'clock. Well, 9 o'clock for me, 10 for some of you, and 11 for the other. But it's not that late for me. Let's go ahead and, since this is the end of the session, you will get some rewards. So if you...
Do we get to reset our sanity?
Yes, you finally get to reset your sanity. In fact, you're going to get some sanity rewards. All of your magic points will come back. You will heal. It's roughly 1 hit point per day, but you get enough medical care once you're back. You can heal up all your hit points. Now, for rescuing Michelle O'Shaughnessy, you get plus 1d4 hit points. Or, excuse me, sanity points. Plus 1d4 sanity points. And you can add this to your total. You also get plus 1d6 sanity points for sinking the SS Champagne with the monster still on it. And then I'm going to let each of you give yourself a luck roll. If you fail it, you can add 1d10 points of luck.
1d4.
Wait, what luck roll? Excuse me, what roll?
Yeah.
Luck?
Yeah, so Rory failed his luck roll, so roll a d10 and you can have that many luck points. Oh, Stella got 9 sanity. Whew.
Wow.
Me too, I think. Did I
Yes,
do
you
it right?
did. You did, yep.
Okay.
Wait, so if you
And-
fail the luck roll, it's a d10.
Yeah, you will gain d10 points. So William gets points, Rebecca gets 1d10
Oh,
points.
good.
Oh, nice. Here, everybody have like a luck. Oh, and Stella does not get luck points, darn it.
What are the odds? Yeah.
I know, right?
Oh.
I'm alive. I'm happy.
I'm going to start the development phase in just a second, but as a reward, each of you can choose a skill that does not have the little star, the little yellow star next to it, and click on that star. And then when I activate the development phase, then you just hit, we'll kind of go where the button is, and it will do all the rolls for you. So you can all kind of pick one skill. Has everybody done that?
I mean, I tried, but it's not letting.
What
You have to
skill?
like double
Yeah,
right
it's
click it or
a
something.
double click, or it might be an alt
Yeah.
click, or
Double
Oh,
left
a
for me.
double. Yes.
Sorry,
now
left
it's
click.
working.
That's what I meant.
so has everybody got that one clicked? Okay, I'm gonna turn on the development phase. So then on your character sheet, on the I think it's on the left side, there'll be a button You just click and it will do all your rolls for you. It will roll all your stuff to see if your things improve. Oh, there we go. There we go. Lots of rolls. Woo. And so then we can see what happens. So Stella, improved first aid, improved persuade, improved psychology. Professor Walters did nothing. Rebecca, her listen went up. William Harding, intimidate went up, and Rory, navigate and pilot boat went up. Yeah, that was terrible for the professor. Man.
I'm already perfect. It's fine.
Right. Excellent. So this is the end of Act 1. So there will be a little bit of downtime in between Act 1 and Act 2. You are recuperating. You're going to tie up a couple of loose ends.
Do we have at least a week of downtime?
Yes, you'll have at least a week of downtime. Some of the loose ends that you may have, you're going to have, let's see. If you were hired by Dr. Bethnell, which 2 of you were, you'll need to report your findings to him. I'll give you the choice if you want to go and talk to the police. You've spoken to the harbor master. He's going to make a report. The police may come talk to you, but if you want to conceal anything from the police, that's up to you. Clearly, Michelle did not want to talk about Dr. Sebastian. For the professor and Rebecca, who went to Boston Harbor to meet Cousin Freddie, you will have the sad job of informing his family of his death, unless you prefer to let the police take care of the news, but I think that comes best from family.
Oh, no. It's my family as well.
Right. For Rory, you are without a boat. The foggy sea is at the bottom of the sea, and you will likely be able to find employment working on a boat around the waters of Grayport, which is a port not far from Boston. But we'll kind of come to that over the week between now and next session. We'll sort of decide, where do you find yourself? You guys all have a shared trauma now, and so there's a high likelihood that you may call Rory. Hey, Rory, can we talk? Let's, we need to talk about some things that happened. You have found 2 different handouts. You've got the fragment of the diary that should still be visible for everyone in the handouts. You've got the passenger manifest that looks like is visible, and then you found the first fragment of the scroll of Zevon, and you learned the spell out of there.
I currently have that tome, I think.
Perfect.
Or no?
It might show up in both yours and Rebecca's, but I think you've got it, Professor.
Okay.
Excellent. Any questions before we call it a day for the session?
No. Were we lucky?
Yeah. So William technically could have died from that one blow. Like that was enough to do him in. You guys somehow managed to, like, the guy with the axe, that's kind of a tough fight, but the very first shot was an impaling strike that took him out. Like, that could have been way worse. And I swear all of your sanity rolls were, like, to take sanity damage was a 1. Like, oh, come on. Like, nobody went insane.
Stella was unlucky, I think.
Yep. And then both Rebecca and William were down to 1 hit point. Rory is about out of luck. Stella's about out of luck. So it's definitely, you guys are slowly kind of grinding down, and that's sort of the fun of the game. Is you start out as a normal person, and then horrible things happen, and you just slowly get ground down. And sometimes it's fast. William almost lost his life in 1 round, but he will learn from that. Rebecca also had a terrible encounter from that cat. In fact, William, well, you didn't have a bout of madness. If you had
fear of cat.
Right, if you'd had a bout of madness,
Oh,
I would have
man.
given you some sort of phobia. I
been
have free reign over, like, your backstory, and I could have changed something from your ideology, something from the people that are important to you. One of those, I don't see it on yours. One of those can be like the one that you don't want me to touch, like, and then
Even you add stars too.
it looks like it
To be
didn't-
fair, I don't mind if you touch any of them. Allied Stars is the one that I would least want moved, but I really like. I'm here for the good story.
Sweet.
So.
Then I will.
Yeah.
I will take free reign over that. So once one of you guys has a bout of insanity, like, that's when we can add some phobias or manias or things like that. But you guys did really well. Like the dice were in your favor, and hopefully you all had a good time tonight. You managed to survive, which I was thinking like we'd probably have one fatality, or at least probably one or two people going insane. But you did great. Any questions about kind of what happened, where the story's at? We'll talk about where it's going forward. The big lead you have is this Dr. Sebastian, that he clearly left the ship, and probably with the two other urns. And if you know what was inside one of them, you can only guess what's inside the others. Any questions? Any concerns?
Nope.
All right. Well, we will go ahead and sign off. I'm going to get this uploaded ASAP so you guys can watch it, or I think Luke listens to it, so he'll have access to the video.
Great.
Yeah, and then let's plan the same time next Tuesday. And I know Startplaying got the times mixed up, but let's just do the same time every week. And and then hopefully they get that straightened out, because that's super annoying. I felt bad that you guys were there, and I'm like, oh, we're not starting yet. But thankfully we made good on it. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off.